Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Nice.
All right, so Joker versus Giorno was clearly a very normal episode that I'm sure got a very normal reaction out of people. So instead, I'm going to be doing a tier list completely unrelated to Joker versus Giorno, but I will not be alone as I have a very, very special guest with me.
You never saw him coming. It is I, Raccoon Brother, voice actor, here to help with one of the coolest ideas ever, the Rematch poll. And I actually did my own sort of podcasty deal over on my channel, so it'll be fun to do an extended take on this with you.
Yes, sir. Although, we're not quite gonna approach this in the way that you might think. Because like, it's not gonna be in the sense of, should this episode get a remaster? Because sadly, because as we all know, a lot of these are just gonna be simple no. Especially the episodes that take place from season 6 onward. But instead, we're gonna be shaping these all in an alternate reality where these episodes do get a rematch.
Oh.
So,
okay.
And on that lens, it's gonna be, how much are they going to add under this context?
I see.
Everybody saw you, bro. Oh my gosh. All right, and we're obviously gonna be skipping like episodes that did get a rematch or remaster or whatever. Obviously, we're gonna be skipping those and just going for the originals. So, all right. Also, chat, I want to make sure y'all can hear Raccoon Bro. Like, just say something in the mic.
I mean, people are asking how am I talking in the chat. I'm just watching the stream, my guys.
Okay, good. All right, good. Y'all can hear him. That's nice. And as I take a sip of my protein shake.
Yes. And me with my water.
Very, very solid. We are going to start with Boba Fett versus Samus. So what do we think, chat? What do we think about like a Boba versus Samus 3? It's a chocolate protein shake, by the way.
Ooh, fun. I think you could possibly make a case for it because of how long it's been since Samus has been on, and I'm not sure if she has many other matchups to really go into. And I think also because of Boba Fett being super downplayed before, they could get a lot more into the actual fight dynamic that they have. There's probably a lot more there than we gave them credit for beyond him being a fourth the size of a car. or Samus being a fourth the size of a car, I should say.
Yeah, 1/4 the size of the average vehicle. Oh, by the way, we're not taking alternate matchups into account. Not for this tier list.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I think that's a good way of putting it. Although we do have Boba Fett versus Predator, which I'd say scaled him pretty well.
Yeah, and I think that is a lot closer to Samus's level than what they were getting at before. So if they did it again, I wouldn't be mad.
Give me Samus versus Alucard.
Oh yeah, I also saw Honkai Star Rail mentioned.
We don't need Alucard unless you're talking about Castlevania, in which case you're safe.
Yeah, put user in timeout.
Yeah, do this. Yeah. Weird Boba returned before Samus. Yeah, I guess there was what do you think? Like, actually, let's describe the categories. Good enough to be real are the only ones that say yes, this should get a rematch. Like the only one that says in this timeline has many merits.
Yeah.
Just as good, but just as good of a case, but generally not worth for one reason or another. This is probably the only time where alts are going to come into play. Could be worth bringing back, meaning that it's a good idea to bring them back. Like Samus, like Metroid has literally not been on the show outside of fighting Boba Fett, like Metroid in general. And like you can make a case for it where like probably not a high priority, but you can make a case for it. Better to let someone else do it. This is in the context of like a reanimated collab, or like someone else doing it as an animated passion project or something, or like something generally outside of Death Battle, and generally not worth it. Should be self-explanatory, and no, God, please, no for those types of cases.
Right.
We'll be getting to those. So, like, Chad, where do we think? Where do we think about Boba versus Samus 3? Like, what do you think? What do you think would be added to it? Do you think it'd have a lot added to it?
I mean, Samus did get a few more games since the last time she's been on, but I mean, other than that, Boba Fett had like more with he got more main character top billing, I guess you could say. I'm just not sure if it would be necessarily enough for me personally. It's probably stale by Death Battle standards at this point.
Yeah,
and it probably be more interesting on somebody else's channel now.
Yeah, so like you want to just say better let someone else do it in this context of like a reanimated collab?
Yeah, I think that'd be better.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, Kuma versus Shang Tsung.
This is an interesting one because of the whole meta tournament I sort of had going on in my head between the bosses of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and they've yet to do the most fitting one of Shang Tsung versus M. Bison. But
yo, God, Halo Knight, $10 donation, let's go! Oh. Also, Beast versus Goliath sweep. Oh, we'll get there. So, like, I think generally not worth it just because of like Shang Tsung. Like, even if you want to exclude Mortal Kombat timeline arguments, generally, like you can do that for characters like Scorpion, you can do that for Sub-Zero, you can do that for fucking Johnny Cage. You cannot do that to Shang Tsung no matter how hard you try. So like, no, just no. I'd rather Shang Tsung. I think it's better to have Shang Tsung like fighting someone who can match that power, because it's like far more interesting to talk about.
Yeah,
I know. We're still not taking alts into account, but like it's not. But in an alternate reality,
I don't think Akuma needs that.
Yeah, funny alternate reality because timeline. Screw Shang Tsung and his silent tease. Yeah. All right. Rogue versus Wonder Woman. Chat.
No.
Do we want this? Do we want this? Rogue versus Wonder Woman 2?
One of the dumbest ideas. Just on paper, one of the dumbest ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, not much more to say about that. They wanted a cat fight episode.
Yeah, the chat is just instantly saying, "No, God, please, no."
They made a cat fight joke before the actual cat fight episode.
So true.
Actual cat fight.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I think that would need no explanation. Goomba versus Koopa. Like,
man,
an actual rematch that goes to the same sense of scale, but like adds the DBX, but is taken far more seriously, like as a joke episode. Do you think that'd be redundant?
Yeah, well, since I think under the context of assuming that DBX was made for an actual episode, assuming that, I think it would be potentially, like, you could probably make a case for it. But at the same time, same series matchups are kind of boring and antiquated after so long, and they only really work in the context of big battle royales, and when it's just a Goomba and Koopa, I think just having it be a silly animation was all it really needed to do.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting it here. That's why I'm putting it here. Hagar.
And who knows? Maybe we'll get a small reference to it in Bowser versus Eggman.
Also, hi Supernova Diamond. Like, I swear I wasn't trying to ignore you. Don't worry about that. I just wanted to hear out what Carrick had to say. All right, Hagar versus Zangief. The first same series matchup.
Oh yeah.
Do we think that it's worth seeing how like Final Fight scales characters to like Street Fighter scales characters?
Wait, Hagar versus Zangief is the first same series matchup?
Yeah, it is. At least in the context of like how Final Fight and Street Fighter had their like worlds merged, like they're in the same canon.
But what about Goomba versus Koopa?
I mean, that one is kind of. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Like,
is that
man? We really got 3 same series matchups in a row. I never put that together. Shao
And
Kahn versus Bellows, acknowledgement, let's go. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, we don't really have.
Wait,
the last
Bellows.
Final Fight game. Oh,
Sorry, go. You were saying?
the last. I think most people didn't really dig the last Final Fight game we got, so it's kind of in a weird state of limbo right now, where I'm not really sure you could justify bringing it back on the show until something big happened that really revitalized the series. So I think it would probably be better to just give Zangief to somebody else.
Yeah, same for Hagar. Like, Zangief versus La Diva, my beloved.
Who's La Diva?
From Grand Blue Fantasy.
Cool.
It's like they value muscle and such, and it would literally just be Zangief supporting trans rights. I love it.
Okay, TMNT Battle Royale. I think you could make a case for that one.
Yeah, because I heard people who were like in defense of it being on the rematch poll saying like, first of all, Mikey could be getting much better treatment, even though like I'd argue you might as well just do that for like a Mikey solo episode. But second of all, if you're gonna fully composite them both, like give them everything, including those weird dragon transformations that were mentioned in the Leonardo versus Jason.
Yeah.
Like then sure.
Throw everything out there and do the idea I really vibe with of they all die like their avatars are in a video game.
Yeah, like they're playing an arcade game.
Away. And yeah, that's the final twist of it. It's like, oh, dude, oh, dang it, Leo won again. Best of 3, you're on. Like, just so you can maintain that brotherly love.
Though, like, I think you should establish that at the beginning, like in the sneak peek, just to avoid any potential Doom posting during the waiting period.
I mean, yeah, but at this, I think it would be. You could also make the argument that, like a phew, it's like sense of relief that everything was fine, and I think, unless you're not worried about, like, tension, like they're not making a sense of tension anymore if you know it's a simulation from the beginning.
I guess that makes sense. Leo still wins, I'm pretty sure. Honestly, not surprised. Because Leo's the leader for a reason.
He's the one in, or if you listen to the 80s song from the live action movie, they mistakenly say Raphael is the leader.
Really? I didn't remember that. I haven't seen those movies in forever, man.
And yeah, because they're like, Raphael, he's the leader of the crew. And they're like, wait, no, he's not. And then Rise came out and Raphael was the leader in that. And everyone was like, oh, I guess the song was right in a cosmic sort of way.
Yeah. All right, Zitz versus Leonardo. I'm automatically going to put here just because I have no idea where Battletoads could scale to.
Okay.
And, like, I would love to see how like, they'd scale them nowadays. Like, there's absolutely no reason... Like, I can't think of a matchup that you would want to bring the Battletoads back for, nor would I expect any reason to bring back Battletoads, as they haven't been relevant in years. Like, decades even. But... Oh, Planetary Battletoads? What? Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, then again, TMNT... Then again, the IDW TMNT comics have some really insane scaling. Complex multiversal Ninja Turtles. No, that's actually true. It's exclusively through an ability. Granted, they don't physically scale to it, but it is through an ability, but it is legit. Like I've seen the explanation for it.
They tried really hard to bring Battletoads back that one time and give it a Saturday morning cartoon vibe.
An going on right now.
Oh no!
Who wants a Big Mac, chat?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, they're unskippable.
No.
Okay. Music, damn it. Whatever.
This is give it back.
Whatever.
Yeah, no.
I think only I can hear the ads anyway.
The TMNT stuff is the only way Battletoads would ever be able to get back on, probably because Battletoads, in a way, owes its existence to Ninja Turtles. It's one of those kinds of franchises.
It's like that one line from Sonic for Hire. They're named after Renaissance painters. We are named after fucking acne.
Yeah, of course we're jealous.
Yeah.
Or no, of course it bothers us. Yeah, because Sonic was like, "Does it bother you guys that you're just ripoffs of the TMNT?" Okay.
Yoshi versus Riptor. No.
Just, not really worth it. No. They're
But
both
but is it
dinosaurs.
enough for no God please no? What do you think, chat? Fat Yoshi versus Fat Chocobo sweep. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there was a siren going on outside. I'm working on soundproofing my apartment. Like I've ordered some acoustic panels, but the shipping has been delayed. And like I have no idea how to approach the windows.
That's interesting. I don't hear it. Maybe that's because of Discord.
Yeah, it could be just because of Discord.
Right.
Are you're still tuning into the stream though, right?
Yes.
But like, are you muting it so that there's no feedback?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's why you didn't hear it. But anyways, no God please no, or generally not worth it. What do you think, chat?
I don't think I hate it that much. It's just silly to me.
Getting arrested for Yoshi Riptor slander. Oh, what the
really
fuck,
cute.
OBS?
Oh no.
Reconnection success. Okay, we're back. We're so back.
We're so back. Yeah, it started that style of really cute, friendly character overpowers the scarier looking character that you would think is more powerful.
And to think that Riptor apparently almost won.
Oh, like back in the day?
Yeah, like during the like planning of the episode, they originally had Riptor winning before looking more into Yoshi.
Wow.
Before looking deeper into the Yoshi drives cars feat.
and they also saying having experience with characters like Link, Snake, and previous Death Battle champion Samus.
So true. All right. Now Felicia versus Tao Kaka. My BlazBlue bias. This is like BlazBlue's like one of their only W's that doesn't involve Terami. And no, I'm not talking about Sinestro. Don't talk about it. So like I want to preserve it as much as possible. So, but like generally, like, so I'm just gonna put it up there just for the hell of it.
I think Riot Rumble could cook there.
Oh yeah, Riot Rumble loves Darkstalkers.
So yeah, let's let Spidey Hog handle it. Kratos versus Spawn.
I mean, I know we're getting Kratos versus Asura, and we might as well be getting Ghost Rider versus Spawn, because like that is a super popular matchup. The team is so down with it. Remember, chat. We're not taking alts into account. We're saying this already got a rematch. So how much would it add as a rematch? And like with that, I think under the context of them using like Kratos like pre-Norse, like the original trilogy Kratos versus Spawn. Like,
but would he still get like mollywopped because he doesn't have those Norse feats anymore?
Honestly, I'm not sure. He might, because like, yeah, I think Spawn would scale above the Norse feats regardless. So I guess better to let someone else do it, like under the pretense of it being like the PS2 trilogy God of War Kratos.
Yeah, that could be an interesting fan animation, probably.
Yeah,
because I'm sure there's a lot more you could do with their arsenals than they had the capabilities of at the time.
Yeah, so true. Barman versus Dig Dug, generally not worth it, and I think Raccoon Bros' reasons for liking it is enough evidence of that.
Yeah, I do find it funny how I like this episode, but my reasoning for liking it kind of damns it to not being able to happen again ever.
Yeah.
It really is a product of its time, and that's the reason I like it.
Yeah. And like, even if they did a quote-unquote modern edition of it, it would literally just be the DBX, like a Bomberman versus Mega Man DBX.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah.
They gave Rush a voice. It's like, hey guys, how's it going?
Though the fact that, I just want to point out, Dig Dug having infinite lives is actually canon. So like, you can make a case for this being a stalemate.
He's got better immortality than Makima. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Dig Dug versus Makima. Hell yeah, dude.
Okay. I think this is worth bringing back.
Really?
Yes, I do. Especially with Shadow getting all the new stuff for his games and Sonic cosmology generally being accepted to be a lot higher than it is, I think it's a lot closer than people give it credit for, and I'd be very curious to see their personalities bouncing off of each other.
I mean, you
So,
know my thoughts on this matchup. Like, as a matchup, the episode's decent, but the matchup.
Matt, I'm afraid I'm just that guy, Matt.
But then again, that's why I brought you around here, because this would be hella my bias. So
I'm fine with splitting this one down the middle.
yeah, I'll make a case for it, because you just did. First of all, yes, chat. Give me that. First of all, I am Vegeta's. All right, Mario. Speaking of my biases, Mario versus Sonic. If this was me, I would probably put it down here. But given the person I'm with, I think we should let him.
You already know. You already know where I feel about this one. These dudes are the faces of video games, the faces of my childhood, and round 2 was it did not really take that potential into account as much as it could have. And like, sure, it's a very pretty looking episode and I used to actually love it, but upon further inspection, there's it honestly does less with them than the first episode, surprisingly, even if like technically it's better production wise. And I voted for this one even though we knew Bowser versus Eggman was coming, because it's so different in dynamic and arsenal usage than that one, because that's a giant army fight and about 2 egomaniacs just bringing it all out. But with Mario and Sonic, I could just see it being I could see them going like the Goku versus Superman route and just having it be a friendly sparring thing, or just like a fun little Smash Brothers style tournament, like having it start as if like the same way the Subspace Emissary started, but with Sonic instead of Kirby, and just like letting them use all their stuff. And this is the kind of matchup you really could realistically do every 5 years or so, because they're constantly getting new things that shake up the matchup, especially after Frontiers and Wonder came out, where a bunch of new power-ups and the Wonder Flower changing the game, and Frontiers expanding upon his combat abilities and giving us an upgrade to the super form. So I absolutely think it's worth bringing back.
Also, I believe one of Death Battle's most recent animators said something about this matchup.
Yes, Morrow, that's right. He was asked in a Q&A which battles he would like to do, and one of them was Mario versus Sonic.
So there you go. And also, I'm seeing people saying like compositing both. Like, what do y'all mean by that, chat? Like, you mean in the context of like compositing Mario with Paper Mario, the comics, all the media, as well as Sonic with Archie and Boom and etc.?
I would want to have it be just the games. I think that's all you really need.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
Because I feel like including stuff like Archie and Mario-kun or whatever that manga is, like, just kind of overcomplicates it. And we've already got the first few Paper Mario games anyway for Mario, so...
Yeah, Wonder Flower Mario versus Super Sonic could go hard. Oh, interesting. Exactly. Jason Voorhees has entered the chat. Ooh, Jason Voorhees himself. Holy shit. Like, why are you talking? Why are you talking, Jason?
He's typing. That's different.
Could Jason actually know how to type?
Probably not.
Who knows? I think just one of his fingers might break the keyboard.
He's been underwater for half of his life and dead for the other half.
Yeah. All right, Luke Skywalker versus Harry Potter. What do we think, chat?
I will admit I am slightly biased towards this one because I've not only fallen off of Harry Potter, I just do not care for its creator at all, which I think is not a deep, which I don't think that's a hot take at this point in time. Just looking at the characters themselves, ignoring all that, I think you could make a case for it with how old it is and what more you can do with it, because you don't get to see that kind of matchup done all that much, I suppose, where one person has a sword and a bit of magic, but the other one exclusively uses magic. So it could be a battle of strategy versus like fighting style. But that being said, like that's me giving it the benefit of the doubt. It's not one of my favorites, but yeah, that's just me.
I think that like a she who shall not be named, like would alone being attached to Death Battle would probably be like cause a lot of like probably so much controversy that's not worth it.
Yeah.
Though like I will admit I'm not fully against Harry Potter being on Death Battle. But I guess with that in mind, might want to just let someone else do it, like specifically someone that doesn't have the budget of Death Battle, like a versus show made by less people, if you will. Like,
well,
maybe
we have a version of Harry Potter versus Luke Skywalker that I'm fine with being the only one. Do you know the YouTubers Raka Raka?
I'm not familiar.
They're Australians and they do insane live action stunts, and they directed that recent horror film called Talk to Me, and they did a funny Harry versus Luke battle, and it was actually the transition soundbite I used for my Harry versus Luke review.
Oh yeah, and also don't have Harry use Avada Kedavra. That should be like #1 priority. So true, so true. Like it was like they said, at least it's a killing curse that he's never used in combat, but then it's like the first thing he does in the animation.
Yeah, or at least not having spam it.
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, that's where the soundbite came from, where I did the "You are the chosen."
Yeah. Anyways, thoughts on Harry Potter versus Edward Elric? I'm kind of fallen off of the matchup. I'm more of an Edward and Alphonse versus Tanjiro and Nezuko enjoyer myself.
That's a good one. I also think Edward versus Joseph Joestar is fun too.
Like, I'm mostly neutral on that matchup, but generally I'm not interested. But what I am interested in Chun-Li versus Mai Shiranui, baby!
I think you could bring that one back, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see no reason not to. It would definitely benefit from an updated analysis for sure. Not with how the times have changed, and it would be a chance to actually respect them this time.
Although with Mai Shiranui coming to Street Fighter 6, you could argue that this would be canon. So that you could have it be like a modern day Ken versus Terry in that sense.
You could. You really could. Yeah, if they could time it up with that DLC, that would be the perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I have no complaints about this one.
Like, I don't think they're gonna do it, but yeah, no complaints here. Has many merits.
I can't think of any other matchups for them as well, so yeah.
Chun-Li versus Blaze Fielding, but like speaking as someone who has actually done some research into like Streets of Rage and Blaze Fielding as well as their feats, let's just say it's been making me depressed.
Aww.
I won't say why because I won't say why, but I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, by the way,
Hi, Axel.
I remembered. Moro also said that they'd like to do a Garu fight and also Denji versus Yuji.
Ah, neat. Yeah.
Alongside Mario versus Sonic.
Starscream versus Rainbow Dash, I'm going to put in here only because you can actually make it an official crossover.
Yes.
Like do another Transformers My Little Pony crossover comic and have these two fight.
Yeah, honestly, there was a missed opportunity that they couldn't do that for the official one in IDW. I'd love to have Rainbow Dash back on the show, especially since it's been so long and she is one of the more interesting characters to talk about in the main cast, at least, in the sense that she actually does have a fighting arsenal to use other than Twilight. So yeah, I'd love that, and Starscream's pretty cool too, so might as well. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sucks how the only MLP wins are kind of cop-outs.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, Sonic versus Rainbow Dash, though.
Master Chief versus Doomguy. We're already getting this one, so I'll just put it up here.
Yeah,
like, with the logo. We already know. Yeah. We've heard all the arguments. We all think they're valid. Now, Eggman versus Wily has a lot of interesting things. Like, if we Like, if we got this along with Bowser
Okay.
versus, like sometime after Bowser versus Eggman, what do we think, chat?
Oh gosh, I'm afraid that Wily can no longer compete anymore because Sonic has just gotten too big and Mega Man has kind of fallen to the wayside.
Yeah.
They haven't had the chance to catch up.
Mega Man used to be super powerful in versus debates, but now they aren't. They were like KOF for platformers.
Just majorly eclipsed.
However, I still want to see this get a reanimated treatment or like something like that.
I at least want a version where Wily gets to talk.
Yes. Like don't just go as far as the reanimated treatment. Make it a full-on remake made by Death Battle fans. Like, do that.
Give Wily a silly German accent.
Yes,
please.
Absolutely. Got the best of Dr. Light! Alright. Alright, Zelda versus Peach.
I like it. It warmed up on me.
Yeah. In fact, I'm just gonna say good enough to be real. First, good enough to be real.
Yeah. It took a bit for me to understand why it was on the rematch poll, but after talking to people about it and after putting aside my general enjoyment of Peach versus Barbie, yeah, no, there really is no reason not to do it, 'cause especially if you'll give them more character moments to interact with each other for real. And apparently Echoes of Wisdom put Zelda as a universe more in the ballpark of Mario, so it's not as much of a shit stomp anymore.
Well, that depends. I still think it's kind of a shit stomp, but it's still worth doing. And I'm already seeing, and but Barbie though, okay, this might be like a bit of a hot take from me, but Peach versus Barbie, while not a bad matchup, I think it's very much like a flavor of the week type of matchup. Like, let's just say there's a good reason why you saw nobody, like literally nobody advocating for it until Princess Peach Showtime. And like, even then, how much longer is that game going to stay relevant?
I'd argue it's not really relevant anymore. And
Yeah.
I'm speaking as somebody who 100% completed it.
Yeah.
One of the most 7 out of 10 games I've ever played.
Yeah, pretty much. And like, even then, it was suggested as a joke. Like, people said, lol, Peach versus Barbie because of Princess Peach Showtime, and then the community completely ran with it, which, respect. I respect the joke, but there are people but I saw someone say that it's a legacy matchup now. I deadass saw someone say that. I'm like, no, don't get it twisted.
We need to make sure people know what a legacy, what that word actually means.
Yeah.
Because you talked about that in one of your videos.
People when I brought up Dio versus Alucard.
Yeah, people confuse legacy.
Yeah, people, and like I also saw people saying that, like, I mean, I guess we're skipping ahead a bit, but I also saw people saying that lol, Ragnar versus Velvet is gonna happen because Ragnar versus Soul wasn't on the poll, or at least I'm coping that. And then people said, well, neither was Peach versus Barbie. But here's the thing. Ragnar versus Velvet was actually, like, a popularly requested matchup for years, albeit in the same vein as Sora versus Pit, where it was coming from a vocal minority. But, like, Peach versus Barbie is, like, far more recent in comparison. And, like, even if Peach doesn't fight Zelda again, I've found more interest in, like, Maria Renard from Castlevania.
Okay.
And, like, as for Barbie, Hatsune Miku, probably the best choice to go with for a Barbie matchup. And I also think that Barbie versus Hello Kitty is really funny, just because, like you have the climax being Barbie is cuddling with Hello Kitty so hard that she either dies of cuteness or accidentally kills Hello Kitty, like suffocates her.
That's absurd. You brought up Hatsune Miku, it reminded me that some people also suggest her to fight Danny Sexbang.
I mean, Barbie versus Hatsune Miku is literally be whatever you want to be the matchup. Like, it's great.
It's inspirational. Correct me if I'm wrong. Legacy is more about the characters and Rivalry is more about the franchises.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Legacy matchup needs to be, like, popularly requested for years. Might be the Mystery TOC fight. Don't do that. Don't give me hope. And Thor, now onto Thor versus Raiden. I would actually like to make a case for this because with timelines and if they use God Raiden and they want to give him the timeline scaling, like Chronica scaling, because that's where the timeline stuff comes from. Does Miku have universal feats? I think so. And like, if you want to exclude like Thor Force or like Odin Force, like what they did in Thor versus Vegeta, then like you can actually make a case for this episode, like this matchup being fair.
It probably would also be a good change of pace to give them. I'm sure there's more dialogue potential between them than we had before, since they didn't really treat Raiden much like a character in the first one, and it's more like a vessel for cool martial arts moves and
all right, now for Link versus Cloud 3. Yeah, I'd say not worth it, because Link versus Cloud 2021 basically did everything you could do with this matchup, because they fully composited both, whereas they didn't do that for these two. And, like, if you want to bring a specific version of Link onto Death Battle, then, like, oh, Thor versus 100 Pikachu sweet being a real Death Battle episode? Yeah, let's go. Anyways, and if you wanted to bring a specific version of Link, you might as well just have him fight somebody else, so not worth it.
Yeah, I see people suggest Breath of the Wild Link versus the Tarnished from Elden Ring.
Yeah, I think that matchup's neat.
And some people were disappointed that Aang isn't fighting Link.
Although I still think it's very ironic that like back during this episode, people are saying Cloud should have won, but now that you have Link versus 2021 having Cloud winning, people are saying that Link should have won.
Oh,
and like
people always gotta be right.
Yeah, it's like, look, if you buy Universal Legend of Zelda, I'm not gonna stop you. In fact, I admit that while I'm very, very skeptical of it, I could do like some deeper digging into it myself. But either way, Cloud is Universal too.
Oh,
and he's so much faster. So like, don't bother. It's like,
yeah, let's get some more representation for Final Fantasy on here.
Yes, Zidane versus Sin Keith, my beloved.
And you know what? I'd also be down for a Zelda matchup that isn't a Triforce user.
Who could you bring on? Like, I've heard Majora, like Skull Kid.
That's right.
Who else would there be?
You could make an argument for Impa.
Yeah, that's a good
one. That's all I got.
Fair. Okay, Batman versus
like
Spider-Man. Like, it has been a long time since we've seen Spider-Man. But we've also seen Batman get 4 different episodes, and only one of them did something different.
I think it would be better for someone else to do it.
Oh yeah, Peter still like bodies Bruce, no way around it. But yeah, better to get like a fan.
But what if you gave him the Hellbat?
Then like if you had the Hellbat fighting a Spider-Man, what would you give Spider-Man at that point? Does he have any Herald-esque suits? Or that on the level of like Tony's armors?
Maybe.
Like, imagine if like they bring in Iron Spider from the MCU and they put him on the same level as like Thor. Then sure. But otherwise,
I do think it would be fun to finally get Spider-Man versus Miraculous, because they've talked about how that matchup is really, really annoying with the way Miraculous's power works.
Yeah.
So
I'm seeing Outlier Batman versus Prep Time Batman. I mean, Outlier Spider-Man versus Prep Time Batman. I think Outlier Spider-Man has to do with like the funny solar system level Spider-Man memes. I think that's what they're talking about.
You'd have to give this some sort of crazy Trunks versus Silver treatment for me to want them to do Bat versus Spider again on the show.
Yeah,
'cause it's pretty tired.
Perhaps.
Pikachu versus Blanca? Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, not worth it. Although I will say that as far as Spider-Man matchups go, I think that like I think that like I'm absolutely in the minority, but my favorite for Spider-Man is Joseph Joestar.
Really?
Yeah. I guess you could say it's more of a guilty pleasure for me, but I do think it's like more interesting and more thematic than people want to give it credit for. Like people say it's just New Yorkers, but no, it actually kind of goes a little deeper than that, though.
So does that mean you like Jolene versus Spider-Gwen?
Yeah. And like it's probably the better like JoJo versus Webcrawler matchup.
All right. Timey asks Jonathan versus Raccoon Bro as a death battle. Who wins?
My gauntlet's
And
real, his is fake. That's all you need to know.
The track would be called Moss Bros.
Okay,
What is
okay.
that?
Look, okay.
I
took issue with someone else doing this, but I didn't want to like scream at them in public. But please, if you're gonna put me in death battle matchups because it's funny, please don't include the no moss will slow me down, because that actually has a lot of personal attachment to me. So like, I'd rather not see that in funny death battle memes.
Sorry, I didn't know what the origin of that was.
It's an origin I have no trouble speaking about, but yeah.
Yeah. I was just reading the comment. So, Goku versus Superman.
Goku versus Superman for no, God, please no. Best you could do. All right, moving on. He-Man versus Lion-O. They kind of already had a crossover like after this death battle.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it happened before or after. Like, I'm pretty sure it happened after. So, like, what do we think about having Death Battle do it again?
Well, are we not factoring in how much we like the episode, like the original episode?
No, because if you recall, like Goku vs Superman, the all-time classic, is at the bottom tier.
Yeah. Well, in the sense that I really like this episode, so there's no need to do it again.
Yeah, I'd say generally not worth it. There's already like a crossover that might have done that already. Yeah, you might as well just do Skeletor versus Lord Zed.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm semi predicting as our final of the last four, or the first four, I should say.
And Shao Kahn versus M Bison. Generally not worth it.
If we're gonna give that score to Kuma versus Shang Tsung, then it's only fair to have it be similar for that one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryu Hayabusa versus Strider Hiryu. Another. I actually saw a prediction blog, and like, oh my goodness. Let's just say Hiryu got hit with the fraud watch that hit him even harder than the Blaze Blue debunks did.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
So like, reanimated collab, please. I want to keep the Strider W, because if you actually take real versus debating into account, then Hiryu does not win. Not even close.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah. Ivy versus Orchid. No, God, please, no.
Fair enough.
Fox versus Bucky O'Hare.
Oh gosh.
I'm actually gonna put this here because Star Fox and Bucky O'Hare have not been properly explored, I don't think. Though, like, I will admit, if I wanted to see Fox McCloud come back, I'd rather just have it be like Star Fox versus Rogue Squadron or something.
Yeah.
That one's cool. But I do want to say, there is an arcade that has the Bucky O'Hare arcade game, and it's like 20-minute drive from my apartment.
Oh shit.
So I can literally just go out and play it if I feel like it.
Yeah. I'm frustrated that the episode didn't do a better job introducing people to Bucky O'Hare than it could have.
Yeah. Because it did so well, such a great job with Fox.
Yeah, but it was too focused on, oh, this thing is so obscure, but it's actually really cool, which is why we're gonna play 50 seconds of its intro.
Yeah. Okay. Terminator versus RoboCop. Generally, I think that it's better to let someone else do it, but I also acknowledge that you can make a case for it. Would I still prefer a reanimated treatment? Yes.
Yes.
But as far as like using better models, like you can use the Mortal Kombat 11 models, which look really good for both, and like Galactic Attorney and I believe Biffweed both supported the idea of this.
Like doing a full-on rematch?
Hey guys, I said that I would be back later. You were about to get owned by the Terminator. Okay, like I think RoboCop would still win. Like, but when Galactic Attorney and Biffweed made those #safe death battle videos, they both, like, GA said his rematch pick was this one, and Biffweed said, yeah, I think I'd be the most down for this one.
I still don't get it personally myself, because I stand by the idea that it would be a neutered version of the original one, since they can't play the music and the copyrighted clips anymore, and you you can't get those defining iconic moments of them having the awesome montages and playing the gun sound effects of all of Terminator's weapons. So I'm glad that they like it. This is the one that I really just do not get the appeal of doing it again, other than an updated animation, which
Fair.
even then I still like it as Torian's first animation on the show. Like I respect the hell out of it because of that. So I'm fine with it being on either of those middle tiers, but that's just me. I don't want to damper down people who do like it, so I'll just leave it at that.
And skipping ahead, I also have like the exact same opinion of Godzilla vs. Gamera. Death Battle just straight up could not capture this episode's vibe ever again. Like, even if they had the budget and time to do so, like, I don't think they'd be able to. Like I said, just reanimate a collab or get Torian to make the remaster, but like don't make it an actual Death Battle episode.
That new thumbnail does go really hard though.
Yeah,
I will say.
And it's no longer using fan art.
I learned that today about a bunch of these thumbnails.
Yeah, there's apparently an entire doc of Death Battle using fan-made stuff. I haven't read the doc yet, but I do need to look into it.
That Vegeta side is really funny to me.
Yeah, like what happened? Like if Vegeta's side was fan art, fine, but like the original thumbnail was so good. It was like perfect.
It's just a screenshot from a video game.
Yeah, exactly. Like I get that this was symbolic how it was based around the Super Saiyan and Super Shadow, like the arguments, but come on, man.
Yeah, wasn't the original thumbnail, was it not also Super Saiyan?
Yeah,
Vegeta?
it also had Super Saiyan. I think all versions of the thumbnail were Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Luigi vs. Tails, I'm just going to put here and not explain. Pokemon Battle Royale.
Ooh. All I'll say about it is Mario and Luigi versus Sonic and Tails sounds like a fun idea for like a fan animation.
Fair. Yeah, as a fan animation. You know, Cartoon Fight Club did it, baby. Just do that.
Yeah. I saw people suggesting this as a rematch. I'm of the opinion, why would you do a rematch of this? Why not a spiritual successor? Give us the next generation.
Yeah, I agree. Like, bring in other generations. Like, just, and if you want to, you can feasibly do it over and over again. Like, because, like...
I'm surprised they haven't done it again.
Yeah.
It feels like such an obvious thing to do.
Yeah, then a Gen 2 starters Battle Royale, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5. You could do it with every mainline Pokemon game.
I am glad Terminal Montage gave us a Battle Royale of all the starters so that we could catch up all that missed time. And that is my favorite of his Battle Royale videos.
Oh yeah, Terminal Montage did it. Yeah, good point, guys. Anyways, Fulgore versus Sector. What do we think, chat? The Fulgore versus Sector sweep? Do we support? Do we support the Fulgore versus Sector sweep? Huh?
What is this fucking episode? Can we get somebody like Spidey Hawk to do an animation of it? Just
yeah, but unironically, this is actually like a rematch of this is actually not that bad of a Fucktor sweep. Yeah, because it's Fucktor.
I still
like you're looking at Tor from Tor and saying "fuck you." Yeah.
I still can't get over. They had a poll on who Fulgore would fight, and Cyrax won the poll, but they still went with Sector for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know that. But like, and the fact that the outcome would actually change, because even if you ignore the timelines, Cyrax destroys a planet in one of his fatalities.
Mm-hmm.
So like, Sector would win.
You can't ignore the fatalities, yeah.
So true.
Although at that point you have to ask, if he destroys the planet, who dies first? Fulgore or Cyrax?
Okay. Yeah.
Batman vs. Captain America. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Generally not worth it. Like if you want to bring Captain America back, why would it be Batman? Okay.
so lame. Yeah. This one too. There are better Gundam episodes to do, and
also Armada Starscream versus Gundam Epion. Well, then again, no alts. Nope. No alts are taken into account.
That is true.
Reminder. Okay, and like
I don't.
I
like to do Gunpla. That is my answer to you
Yeah.
on how attached I am to Gundam.
And also, like with these two, like, you just wouldn't be able to capture the campy magic of this episode.
Yeah.
Also, Jason eating a third L would be sad. I don't know.
Aw.
I think you could make a case for Jason winning this one.
Wait, is his name Jason? Is it White
Yeah,
Ranger?
cause like, oh wait, Tommy Oliver. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Boo.
Yeah.
Fake fan over here.
All right. Ryu versus Scorpion. What do we think, guys?
Maybe. Cause I do really like this episode, and I'm sure you can do some more stuff with them since they've had a bunch of stuff after their episode came out. Not sure if it's worth having them against different people, but they are so different from each other fighting style.
Oh, you're talking about Jason David Frank. Who's that?
The guy who played Tommy Oliver.
Oh, okay. I will not be falsely corrected.
I'm just saying, when there's a character named Jason in Power Rangers.
Anyways, back to Ryu versus Scorpion.
Yeah, it's a good ass episode, and I think maybe it'd be more fan animation, since they're not it's not the most thematic matchup.
Oh wait, Jason David Frank has passed on?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh yeah. Can we get an 07 in the chat for Jason David Frank?
It's okay that it happened a couple years ago.
I know, so. but like, I didn't know about this, so.
No, I'm just saying it's okay that you didn't know, because
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were talking about Jason Lee Scott.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger. Salute.
For real.
So true. Ryu versus Kyo? If you want to bring on Kyo, have him fight Yusuke.
Yeah.
Yusuke
I just love Scorpion versus Wolf so much as a concept that it's hard for me to justify this one.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to put it down here.
So, yeah, maybe it's good for combo practice. Let's say that.
Yeah. In fact, I still
Deadpool
think
versus
Ryu versus Scorpion is the gold standard for good death battle sprite fights.
Yeah, and I said a similar thing for good fighting game episodes.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment as well.
Yeah.
Deadpool
I don't know if
versus
do you
Deathstroke.
think Rio still wins? Do you think Rio would win now?
Under the context of it being like no timelines, then absolutely.
Fair enough.
Because without timelines, most Mortal Kombat characters don't get that high.
Gotcha.
And Deadpool versus Deathstroke, I'm once again requesting the reanimated treatment.
Okay. All right.
Because we've had Deadpool on the show 3 times, and Deathstroke versus Taskmaster. Like, with how much Raptor's been shilling it, I'd be more well, once again, no alts are being taken into account!
It's hard.
I know it's so hard, because I'm not used to this format. No one is. Animation is good, but crusty. Yeah, pretty much.
And the sound design could use a little bit of work.
So, like, I'd say it generally not be worth it, because the verdict wouldn't change. The research, I don't think, would change. Deathstroke would just be scaled to other street tiers. Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's not much else you can do.
Kirby versus Majin Buu. What do we think, guys?
Did you not want to have it be in someone else to do it for like a reanimation?
Given
for Deadpool versus
given that this
Deathstroke?
is a Marvel versus DC, no.
Okay, fair enough. Kirby versus Boo. I am slightly warming up to it because I've seen people. I've seen arguments that go beyond people want to see Kirby die.
Kirby won't even die, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's a very debatable episode.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
like, otherwise, just do a reanimated treatment.
Yeah, I have such an emotional attachment to the original, it would not even compare slightly.
So true. Like, I don't have as much attachment, but I also agree that it's a really solid episode. Like, I just want, like, giving Force closure, this episode was the sole reason that my B tier, which is a typical person's A- tier, Like, this was why 79's qualified for, like, that B tier instead of a C tier, because I felt that Kirby vs. Majin Buu being in my equivalent, being in, like, my C tier, which is a normal B tier, just felt very wrong. Ragnar vs. Soul, I'm just going to put in, has many merits. I've talked about it, like, dozens of times before. The matchup is still solid, even if I still can't stand the episode. Right. As you all know. There's a lot of incentives to bringing both of these back. And, like, if this got announced, the only problem I would have is that this getting announced as a rematch would be all the people in my DM saying, I'm sorry for you. I just don't want to handle that. But otherwise, I am not against this idea.
You have to mute your Discord for a while. Yeah, I've talked about this one before. Gotta vs. Toph. On
you have.
The rematch. And I'll reiterate my points here. I am cool with this under the pretense that the new movie coming out in 2026 gives Toph some cool stuff, and also that they're portrayed as their time skip young adult versions as opposed to kids, so that way it's at least feels a bit more different from the first one. And if those conditions are met, I am fine with them doing another one. Like that is the case I would make for it.
Yeah. So you think that we should put it in, like, make a case for it, or should we put it lower?
I think you can make a case for it as good.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because it is a very flawed episode that today would be a lot better since they've got a better handle on bending animation, especially with because I know Korra vs. Storm isn't the best episode, but it does have some very pretty visuals in it that would translate very well to other Avatar episodes, I feel.
Yeah, fair.
And hopefully they're able to do that with Aang versus Traveler, because I know Devil Artemis said that he really wants to animate Aang.
Yeah. And we're skipping Boba vs. Samus Remastered and moving on to Chuck Norris vs. Segata. I'm going to put it in here just because in an alternate timeline, this would be the sequel, where we actually get to see who wins.
Okay. My thing is, I don't know if it belongs in this one though, because they're still going at it. It's an incomplete episode.
Though, like, to be fair, like, it could be in the, like, on but on the other hand, Chuck Norris today is
like we said, products of their time.
Yeah, but I could see this being a really fun follow-up under the sense of, like, Wiz saying, Boomstick, we've done it. We finally learned how to keep up with Chuck Norris and Segata Sanshiro. And then Boomstick's like, yo, no way, let's grab a beer. Give me a beer. I'm ready to watch this. Or something like that.
It's time for a death battle.
It's time to see who finally wins. Something like that.
Here we go.
Yes, sir. Though otherwise, I would just like to see this as a DBX, like as a DBX in the same vein as Koopa versus Goomba.
Please.
Oh, thanks, Toys to Life. Actually, I've been practicing a Boomstick voice in a way.
It is a really good it is a very good broomstick voice. Thank you, Professor.
Yeah,
Hope.
broomstick.
Shall I provide my jizz impression?
Do it.
All right. For our next battle, it's Guts versus Nightmare.
Not worth it.
No.
Only reason that Nightmare would win.
Yeah.
And even then it has no value because Guts versus Dimitri exists, and it gave Guts, like, a far more interesting death than, like, this episode ever could. Or they just do it again, but it's like ran out of ideas.
Well, yeah. If Nightmare had won, they wouldn't have been able to do as fitting of a thematic death for Guts, because my roommate Zach is a very big Berserk fan. Like, he loves the shit out of Berserk, and he was very happy with the way they handled Guts's end in that episode.
Yeah.
And he even when he talked to me about it, and he'll probably bring this up in my season 10 review since I'm gonna have so many guests on that one.
Yeah.
You can make an argument that technically Guts might not have actually died in that one from the way it's framed and the way that he's still standing. He was defeated, but there's still like just enough fight in him left that he was able to keep on going. And in the context of Berserk, living to fight another day is the biggest victory you can have. And like that's one of the biggest themes in that franchise.
It is.
It's just
yeah.
like keep on going. You're alive. That's all that matters.
I'm also seeing some Soul Edge versus Majora's Mask in the chat.
Oh.
You missed the Grenda voice.
Grenda Grendinator reporting for duty.
There we go.
Yes, sir. I like Ice King.
Yeah.
Versus Skull Kid. And yeah, so
Tony versus
he'll
Lex.
go more in depth.
Yeah. All right. Tony versus Lex.
Nah, it's fine. That one's perfect as it is.
Yeah.
And
it's like
if you did it again, Lex would probably win.
Maybe. Because remember, Tony was also revealed to be really busted in his own right.
True.
So, like, I guess in that lens, supposedly you could make a case for it, but then again, we've already seen these two with very much their recent arsenals. No point. Can't improve on perfection.
Yeah. Okay.
Just reanimated collab like with Deadpool vs. Deathstroke, but it's Marvel vs. DC, so even less worth it.
I'll let you take the reins on this.
You already know, chat. I'm putting this one up here. Like, Beast versus Goliath, I think, like, the reason why I was shilling for this one as the rematch and why I was really upset that it didn't make the poll was because, look, say what you will about which characters were done dirtier, which matchups were done dirtier. Even I agree. There were quite a few characters you could say were done dirtier than both of these characters. But at the very least, you had them speaking.
Nah.
In the context of these two being some of the most, like, talkative and poetic characters. Oh, hi, dude, on the tube. We're talking Beast vs. Goliath right now. And, and anyways, and, like, in the context of these two, I think that you could absolutely make a very, very good and interesting animation. And also, you know the last time we've had a street-tier X-Men character? Shredder vs. Silver Samurai. That was 7 years ago. And the last time we had a Gargoyles character was the one Gargoyles episode. I don't even think they showed up on DBX or anything. And I've heard that like Mystique versus Nimona can fill the same hole, but like at the same time, I don't think that would fit the same vibe as what this matchup ideally should have been. And I hear, oh, but Beast versus Winston. Okay, and I'll admit, Beast versus Winston is cool, but counterpoint, fuck Overwatch.
Fuck Blizzard.
Yeah, fuck Blizzard in general. Like, obviously, that's not the only reason. I still think that Beast versus Winston would be interesting, but we've had Overwatch a couple times, and Black Widow versus Widowmaker was, like, the matchup that pretty solidly handled Overwatch stats, at least at the time. And then, whereas Gargoyles, we have no idea where they scale to. And, like, the only other Gargoyles episode that's remotely popular, aside from Mystique versus Nimona, is Norman Osborn versus David Xanatos. But, like, how would you go about that? Because, like, I'll admit I haven't seen Gargoyles I don't know if David Xanatos is much of a fighter. Like, chat, if you have any, like, David Xanatos feats, let me hear them. I'd be glad to hear them. Like, where they scale to. But otherwise, I think this would be great in terms of, like, determining where they would scale, in terms of representing the characters better, in terms of just actually going over whether or not Beast did, in fact, lift the whole 50-ton plus tree off the ground.
Golden tree.
In terms of whether Gargoyle would still be stronger than Beast. And I also heard that Gargoyle's got some comics relatively recently, like a few years ago. So, like, they could also go into those. That'd be interesting.
I just wish I cared about these characters. That's all I have to say.
Fair enough. But I just had to put it up here because anyone who's followed me on Twitter or like, hell, I think I even made a YouTube community. No, I didn't put it on a YouTube community post. Like,
Delta Nova asks, isn't Beast a fascist in the comics now? Because that's what I heard.
damn, I honestly don't know. But I think they could avoid that, because I also heard that Magneto has some really sus stuff going on in the comics. And I think it happened before Magneto versus Tetsuo, and they avoided it.
Fair enough, then.
All right. Snake versus Sam?
No, there's no way.
Reanimated treatment, but yeah, generally not worth it.
Are you fucking kidding me? No way.
Yeah, like I said, like with Tony versus Lex, can improve on perfection. Can't. By the way, dude on the tube says hi, Carrick.
Oh, hello. I am not Raccoon bro VA. I don't know who you're talking to.
Raccoon.
I'm not Raccoon bro VA. Vader
Adrian.
versus Doom. Oh boy, this one.
Right.
And we thought Thor versus Raiden was a shit stomp.
Yeah, no, God, please, no.
Thank you.
Only for you. DK versus Knuckles. Okay. I do think you could make a case for this, actually. Because, like, Donkey Kong, like, you could scale him to the rest of the Mario cast because technically he is a star child, so it'd be fine to scale him to the feats of other Mario characters. But at the same time, I think Donkey Kong Country might have a feat or two that could live up to that. And either way, and like, the most you could say is that, oh, he scaled to the black box, he scaled to other Mario characters and saying that in black boxes. Why are you guys ignoring Goku versus Superman? We totally need that to be a rematch again. Oh, that's a good point.
We already talked about Goku versus Superman.
He's making a joke.
Same shit.
Okay, and anyways, as I was saying, like you could say, oh, he scales to the Mario characters in black boxes, but in terms of stuff that's said out loud, you could try and focus on Donkey Kong Country feats. And hey, if you have Donkey Kong winning, then that'd be a really impressive feat. Or you could just have Knuckles winning again. Yeah, Hyper Knuckles versus Strong Kong. Actually, no. Hyper Knuckles versus the Flying Rainbow form from DK Jungle Climber. I forget what it's called, but the Flying Rainbow form is just like supersonic, how it works in the Genesis games in terms of it just being like an invincible, all-powerful, colorful form that can also fly. So you could actually have it go cosmic, and I would love to see that. Especially since one of the last bosses of DK Jungle Climber was in space. So yeah, you could have it go cosmic, and I'd love it for that. Also, my bias for this matchup would absolutely want to see like another attempt, even if it's in the sense of like some other versus show doing it.
Also, did you say have Knuckles win again?
Well, if they have Knuckles win again, like
because
without the power-ups, because I think Knuckles would win with access to the super form, because Donkey Kong absolutely cannot have the Mario power-ups.
Fair enough. Yeah, they really did weirdly neuter them in this episode.
Yeah. Is Sonic versus Mario going to be necessary given Bowser versus... Oh, yeah! Yeah, I think you can have them be distinct, because Sonic and Eggman have completely different arsenals. Like, yes, Eggman can still use the Chaos Emeralds, but he doesn't use them in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, my wording fucked up. Thanks for clarifying that, Delta Nova.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
He had power-ups in the movie, but not in the games. That's what I was talking about. DK does not have access to Mario power-ups in the games. And, like, I highly doubt they would consider the movie.
Yeah, and I'm guessing you prefer this one a lot more over Luigi versus Tails.
Yes. 1000% yes.
Yeah, I guess it's hard for me to think of other Tails matchups you could do, because he's not that much of a fighter, really. He's more of like tactical support.
There is Coco Bandicoot.
Yeah.
It vibes.
And also, Carrick isn't Trash Panda. My life is a lie. What do you mean? What do you mean I'm not I am the Trash Panda. I am the Trash Panda of the community. What are you talking about?
Though, to be fair, I am surprised that Nate doesn't have a pet raccoon.
I mean, he was hired by Raccoon Bro, so maybe Raccoon Bro would force Nate to have a pet raccoon, like to watch over it for an episode.
Oh yeah.
Like I gotta go away for a bit. Can you watch him while you're doing this review? Thanks, bye. Okay. And Nate's like, no, wait, what are you doing? Ah, damn it. It's already getting in my trash.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. All right, moving on. Wolverine versus Raiden. What do we think, chat?
Okay. disregarding that people like that people have a bunch of Wolverine matchups in mind. It's hard for me to think of much more you could do to improve upon this other than improved research, I guess, now that there's more people on the team to fact check stuff like if the adamantium really could be melted through, like how that one comic panel said. So
Yeah.
weird scaling shenanigans there, but I really like this one, and I guess maybe reanimated, but at the same time, I think there's better uses for them beyond that.
And if that's the route you want to, that's the path you want to take, then I just rather see another Versus show doing it. Like, never mind the reanimated treatment. I'd rather just see like straight up another Versus show taking a crack at the research.
Yeah, and preferably have better endings that don't just abruptly close out, and you're like, oh, it's over. Oh, that was sudden. Also, Delta Nova says Tails versus Diddy Kong.
Yeah, I've heard about that one. I like Tails versus Diddy Kong, but technically it'd just be another like Mario versus Sonic adjacent matchup. So like,
I don't know how I feel about Diddy Kong on that Death Battle.
I really like Diddy Kong, so I'm not against it. But yeah, if you want a Donkey Kong Country character, just stick with the gorilla himself.
Yeah. Mr. Satan versus Dan, generally not worth it. No improving upon perfection. I don't know how.
I don't even think a reanimated treatment could like improve upon this.
It is one of the best sprite fights of all time, and
so true,
I'm not exaggerating.
Mm-hmm.
You especially can't do it. I especially wouldn't want to do it again now because of Dan's voice actor Brad Venable passing on. I'd prefer to preserve this one just as is. There's no need to do it again.
Yeah.
So Dan versus Glass Joe.
Yeah,
make
Dan
that a
versus
rap
Glass
battle.
Joe vibes. That sounds funny.
Yang versus you want to do now, God, please no.
I will say once again, chat, Yang versus Tifa is a better matchup than Tifa versus Makoto.
Nijima, from Persona 5, because there are two Makotos in Persona, in case you guys didn't
Nijima,
know.
yeah. Because my logic with that is that, what are the connections between Yang versus Tifa? They're the fan favorite girls who punch. What are the connection between Makoto and Nijima versus Tifa? Fan favorite girls who punch. But only one of those is an inspiration versus original matchup, and it's not Tifa versus Makoto.
Vibes, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, Tifa versus Jude, my beloved. Although, I really fucking wish, I swear, I wish I could bring up Tifa versus Jude in conversation naturally without name-dropping Tifa versus Makoto. I really do wish that.
What's Jude from again?
Jude from Tales of Exilia, which, by the way, it is rumored to get a remaster, and if it does, I will hard pressure you into playing it.
Hot take, I prefer Yang versus Garnet over Yang versus Bakugo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Garnet's
there are a lot of matchups. There are a lot of Yang opponents better than Yang versus Bakugo. Yang versus Bakugo is kind of ass. Like, Bakugo, it had a half-decent DBX, and that was it.
Oh, I don't even think it's half-decent. I think that DBX is terrible.
Fair enough. All right, Mega Man versus Astro Boy.
I'd like to see another version of it from somebody else.
Yeah, so, I mean, there kind of already was another version from somebody else, like before the Death Battle, and they had Mega Man winning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about
that. I don't think you can find it online anymore, because I believe it was taken down.
Yeah, preferably if you animate this one again, don't have a scene that just rips off a fan animation one for one.
Yeah, definitely.
Green Arrow versus Hawkeye, I think that one has merit.
Really?
Yes, I do, because I consider it to be one of the more battles that they've done, and there's a lot of story potentially you could do there if you actually let the characters talk, and you could have it be more of a heist thing, like gone awry, and they're sort of fighting over something, and they have the chance to make me more interested in them. I want to be proven wrong that a battle of two archers is inherently uninteresting. I would like to be proven wrong about that. So that's why I would want them to do it again.
Guys, that was an homage. Ben and Chad stated in the revisit. Okay, fair enough, but did it need to be like almost a perfect shot for shot version of it though?
I don't. It's a fan animation. I don't believe it's not an homage when it's a fan animation. That's copying homework.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
If it happened in like an official Mega Man cartoon or other source, then fine. But no, it's one for one of a fan animation.
Torian was the master of homages. He was really good at putting that shit in seamlessly.
Yeah.
Yang versus Tifa is ironically a good example of that.
Yeah. In fact, I think they used the same Tifa model from Dead Fantasy, like Monty Oom's fan series.
Yeah. There you go.
But that also explains why Tifa looks so weird in that episode.
Does it explain why she sounds weird?
I don't think so.
All right, Pokemon versus Digimon. I am of the opinion, no God, please no, because I really need Digimon on the show against something other than Pokemon. God damn it.
I'm gonna put it in generally not worth it, just because like
fair.
I'm not as passionate. I don't like Pokemon and I have no interest in Digimon, so that's just because I don't feel as strongly as you. But like outside of that, I'd probably have like the same opinions as you on this episode getting remade.
Here's the thing. I don't have a connection to Digimon either, but I'm sort of talking vicariously through my friend Steve, who grew up on Digimon, and I sort of agree with him that, yeah, it is pretty lame that this thing that you enjoy has only been able to be tied to Pokemon for the 2 episodes it's been on Death Battle.
Yeah.
So, redemption arc. Please.
And Adrian, no, you are not alone in saying that Digimon versus Pokemon is tiring as a debate. You're definitely not alone on that. You have friends, and I'm one of them in that regard.
And since you guys know I'm working on my season 4 review, that the edit for that is more than halfway done. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I'm gonna go ahead and tease you guys now. Lucario versus Renamon, I think, is one of the funniest segments I've done on my channel, and it is it's unlike anything. There's no other segment like it on my channel. It is wholly unique.
You got the one animator you hired for the mistake.
Well, it's completely unlike anything else I've done.
Ooh, okay. Looking forward to it.
I'm very excited to stream that and see people's reactions to it.
Yes, sir. All right, now Dante versus Bayonetta.
That one I think is you can make a case for it sort of thing, because I understand that they have new games and it changes up the debate a lot. And while yes, it wouldn't be able to reach the same levels of scope as the original, you could focus more on the 1v1 aspect of it and just have that be tighter and give them better facial expressions, obviously. And if they did this one again, I would not be upset. I think there is more to talk about with them.
Yeah, I see it. And also, this is the only good matchup for both.
Oh, really?
Put that out there. I think this is the only, okay, maybe not only good matchup, as there are a couple Dante options I vibe with, but it's the only truly great matchup for both. And I think it's the only good one Bayonetta has anyway, so.
Can't wait for the first sex scene in a Raccoon Bro video.
Yes, sir.
Lord.
Anyways,
well, so do you not like Kratos versus Dante?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyways.
That's all I needed to hear.
That's fair. And Bowser versus Ganondorf, I'm going to put in here because even with the existence of Bowser versus Eggman, I don't think they're going to have a lot of time focusing on, solo Bowser stuff. Because, the armies are going to play much more of a factor, or at least just as much of a factor, as opposed to just Bowser by himself. So under that context, you can make a case for this.
Okay. Bowser,
good matchup, poor execution. I agree.
Yeah, even if we assume they...
Bowser versus Jeff from Final Fantasy X. Let's fucking go. Yes, the sweep. And you can unironically have a kaiju fight between them now. Love it. But yeah,
even if we assume Echoes of Wisdom gives them massive buffs, Bowser probably still mega shit stomps. But I the interactions could probably be fun. I'll give you that.
Especially since you can have them talk.
My friend, I'll let you have that. Ratchet and Clank versus Jack and Daxter.
Uh,
That is one that's good as it is, and Jack and Daxter hasn't had anything, and Ratchet and Clank has gotten a bunch of things that make it even more unfair than it was before.
Mhm.
So it's fine. I think it's fine as it is. So generally not worth it.
I want to see an official crossover between them, though. And, like, I gave that benefit of the doubt for Starscream versus Rainbow Dash, and I kind of want to do that here. But what do you think, chat? Someone else do it or not worth it generally?
I mean, hey, if it means bringing Jack and Daxter back into the limelight, then sure.
Yeah. Like, but what do you guys think, chat? Yeah, hard no on Flash versus Quicksilver. Yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick.
Most of the Marvel versus DC episodes aren't worth doing again. I think Green Arrow versus Hawkeye is the one that I'm making.
PlayStation All Stars exist? That doesn't count. I'm not talking. I mean, like an official Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter crossover.
That game's over a decade old. Nobody cares about it.
I did, but yeah, I can understand those problems. Anyways,
they really thought they could do Smash Bros, but for Sony.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I think the chat's saying generally not worth it. Like one guy said someone else do it, but I'm seeing more people saying not worth it.
Okay.
And Joker versus Sweet Tooth, I'd also say is the same thing because you cannot get an episode like this even when you bring one of these characters back.
I'm very happy that nobody gave me flack for how high it is on my ranking for season 3. I have a very funny top 2 for my season 3 ranking. So I'm glad that people were open to that. And yeah, no, I don't see it and reason to try again. Like the fact that Gianni just like perfectly went back into that voice without any difficulty whatsoever just goes to show how much this episode means to him.
Yeah.
So if we could get him for a Sweet Tooth project or get him to voice a Sweet Tooth like character in a first person shooter, then yeah, let's just do that instead.
Yeah. Anyways, Mewtwo versus Shadow. What do we think, chat? Do we want this to be real? Are we still on the Mewdo sweep?
Should I do it? You know I had to do it to him.
Top of the list, baby. Oh, don't worry. I'm not gonna spoil Shadow Gems for you. But I will say it definitely helps this matchup. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. God, it's funny how
remember Delta Nova. No mods are being no alts are being taken into account.
It's funny how I just came off of making a case for Vegeta versus Shadow. That was because I was disregarding this episode. It is the one for me at least.
So by that logic, do you think that Shadow versus Ryuko is the exact same case?
Well, we'll get to that when we get to it.
All right, save the tea. Let's save the tea for now. Until then, let's go on to Meta versus Carolina.
No, please. That is you can't do it anymore because Red versus Blue is over. Yeah. The show's done.
Well, I mean, technically you could do it, but why?
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
Yeah. And Cammy versus Sonya.
I'm gonna probably. I guess you can maybe do that as a fan thing. I personally don't see much of a reason to go back to it, but because it's very. I think it's a good anchor point to look back on for how far a lot of the people have come on the show.
That's a good point. Like the same logic that I gave for Torian. Like why not give for Louise?
Yeah, this was Luis's first one, and that was Torian's first one.
Yes, sir.
So there you go.
All right, Tracer versus Scout. This is another big one. Like, what did you have to say about Carrick again? Remind me.
Disregarding fuck Blizzard because I want to give these characters a fair shake. I think there is a lot more they could have done with it. Absolutely, there's no denying that. Yeah. If you have more animators on it, you'd have a better chance to incorporate more movement and give them more weapon variety. There is a lot more you could do with this one. And I also heard rumors that apparently the final TF2 comic is being written and it might actually come out relatively soon. So if that does come out and we finally get to see the ending of that insane story, then I would more than love to see this finally be put to bed and have us give us a version of this fight that we can be proud of.
Yes.
And if it happens, no more TF2 versus Overwatch. I never want to hear that rivalry ever again. If we do this sequel, so
I'd even sacrifice Heavy versus Zarya, which is the only good one of that series pairing.
yeah.
So what do we think, chat? Many merits or just worth bringing back? What do we think, chat? I'll let you guys decide this one.
I'd probably bring back the voice actors that you had in the first one too. It'd be fun to compare their performances to see how much they've grown since then. I don't think you'd be able to get Nathan to play Scout because he's gone MIA from the internet.
Yeah.
So, but if he does come back, then absolutely see if he's down to clown, as they say. I'm seeing worth bringing back happening more.
Yeah. Put it in worth. Now, Ken versus Terry. Should we put it in like the same boat as Chun versus Mai, or put it a tier lower? Because this episode was actually good.
Yeah. I actually do like that episode. So
I'm passionate about it personally.
Yeah, I understand the idea of they've had more things happen for them, so you might as well. But at the same time, Smash Bracket had a really good episode on it too.
Oh, they did. That's right.
So I actually don't know if you should even bother anymore. Like what more is there to do with them?
Yeah, that's fair.
I
think you could still make a case for it because like Smash Bracket's rule set is different from Death Battles.
Yes, I think make a case for it is probably the best option.
Yeah, best option.
The first episode is very fun. I think it's to me it was the Pikachu versus Blanca of season 3 for me, and that's a compliment coming from me. And yeah, probably could do more with it. Like let them give them some voice actors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Amy versus Ramona, should we just put in generally not worth it and move on?
Yeah, I don't like the matchup.
Hulk versus Doomsday, I'm gonna put in make a case for it, just because like ideally in the timeline we're thinking this would be happening in like this second one would be happening instead of Doomsday versus SCP-682, and I think you could fill like a very similar hole to that.
It would be. I think it would be a worse waiting period than Joker versus Giorno by a landslide, because like these two are even more unkillable and insane.
Oh, that's right.
So, oh man, people would be so angry if it ended in a tie, Grumpo. I would love that if it did.
And the thing is, Doomsday versus SCP-682 could also end in a tie.
I would be interested to see how they would handle a tie for antagonistic characters, because with Scooby versus Courage, you had a pretty simple way to finish that out. They were already friends to begin with, so they tied. Okay, great. We can just have them laugh it off and pass out from how scared they were. But for characters that actually do want to kill each other the whole time, I feel like that's a new route to take, a stalemate sort of situation where it's like they just stand there and they have just a moment of acknowledgement, like they nod towards each other, like, well, we can't kill each other. See ya. And then they just go their separate ways, still seething with anger. Like, well, we got it out of our system at least.
Pretty sure 682 will just win because the writers will just give him the counters to Doomsday. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. If that was the case.
I think they said that once they announce, once they say they'll do Doomsday versus 682 for real, like make it official, they won't take any more additions like into account for the episode.
Yeah. All right, now Zoro versus Erza. What do we think, chat? What do we all think?
This is an interesting one because I've heard that how much it's changed, like and how Erza got that fucking that meteor thing. Not too long after. So yeah, sure, why not? I think you can make a case for it.
Yeah. Okay, fair. And
especially since it's been so long since One Piece and Fairy Tail.
Isn't it still debatable? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it should be.
So might as well.
Then Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie. No, God, please, no. And Lara versus Nathan. I'm gonna put in has many merits of a rematch.
Ooh, okay.
Just
all
instantly, fucking instantly.
You know what?
The only reason it's not good enough to be real is because I don't think Nathan Drake has that much better. Like all you could really get is like stats for both, like proper stats and scaling for both characters. But I don't know if these two series have had that much more material.
No, they really haven't. I think Laura got a couple more games in the reboot timeline. Raccoon, be careful what you say about SCP. The writers could be lurking around the corner and work on the Doomsday counters immediately.
Oh my gosh.
Fair enough. If SCP happens, I'll definitely get Zach on the reaction for that because he's a big SCP nut.
Yeah.
With Laura versus Nathan is a very flawed episode. I get into that in my season 4 review. My thoughts on it haven't changed very much from my original review. It's still a very not very good looking, and also falls apart if you think about it for too long kind of episode. But I'm just wondering how well they'd be able to handle a story focused matchup idea like this in the more modern era where they don't have as much time to flesh dialogue and crazy story beats out as they used to. So maybe, yeah, let's see how they handle it. Let's see how they would do it nowadays. I'm curious about that.
And Scrooge versus Shovel Knight, I'm going to put in here just because, once again, we're not taking Ulfs into account. So Scrooge versus Mr. Krabs and Shovel Knight versus another character, not taken into account. Both have a lot you can bring to the table. But the only reason it's not, higher is because I don't think they're going to do the 8-bit approach again.
I think they would probably get Morrow to do it since he has experience with animating Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
And then you could give us hand-drawn Scrooge as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you could make a solid case for this one.
All right. I think this one's more your territory because I don't care
Venom
that much
versus
about
Bane?
Venom. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put in generally not worth it because I think that there are still matchups where you could bring back a symbiote character, including Venom. There's Senator Armstrong versus Flash Thompson, as I believe Agent Venom. I think because a buddy of mine sold this to me because technically Armstrong does have access to a symbiote weakness, but he doesn't automatically win. Kind of like what people were arguing for Venom versus Krona, but more interesting because they're more on a similar level of power. And I also think Venom versus Zato 1 could have a fun debate because Zato is undead, so you have the concept of the symbiote versus Zato 1's unkillable nature. You could have that. And Venom versus Bane just does not offer that. Isn't Gore the God Butcher, technically speaking, tied to a symbiote with a Necro Sword? I don't know. I haven't done that much research into Marvel, so you're asking the wrong guy. About a story-based Nathan versus Drake, what do you think about the Bat in the Sun version? I don't know, man.
Wait, did they do a Laura versus Nathan episode?
Huh, I don't know, man. How about we just move on to Megazord versus Voltron?
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
That one's good as it is.
Yeah, good as it is. Natsu versus Ace, the only reason you'd want to do this one again is because, to approach the exact same debate, because this episode's existence was based around a debate. And it worked for it, but it's not going to work again.
Around the debate of guy who eats fire versus guy made of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
But it's also untouchable in a way.
Oh.
So, generally not worth it.
He is dead though, so
yeah.
Natsu need. I've seen cases for Natsu versus Luffy, honestly.
Yeah, that one could be neat.
By the way, I
mentioned this on the last Death Battle stream. Thanks for putting me on Venom versus Zato 1. Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. By the way, I looked it up, and after seeing an image of it, I actually do remember Lara versus Nathan because it was during the Machinima era.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
anyway, Sub-Zero versus Glacius.
Man,
should we give this the Fulgore versus Sector Suite, baby?
Sure. You know what? Fuck it. Why not?
Actually, no, it doesn't work here.
I don't think it has the same level of iconography as Fulgore versus Sector to justify it.
Yeah. I guess Kwai Liang couldn't need a return, but against Glacius, it's Fucktor's less fun because...
Yeah, that's a good one. That's fair.
All right, Android 18 versus Captain Marvel. I mean, if they actually go all in with the Xenoverse compositing, then I guess you could make a case for it, but they still ain't beating DC, so I highly doubt they'd still be beating Marvel, so not worth it.
Yeah, better. You can't even beat Invincible. What makes you think you can handle Marvel?
So true. Metal Sonic vs. Zero, like, I could see this under the same veil as like Eggman versus Wily: The Last Laugh, but since we're getting Bowser versus Eggman, this one just kind of lost its appeal, like as a rematch.
There is a lot to improve on it, so maybe a fan animation.
Yeah, maybe, but I'd also just rather see these two fighting someone else.
That's fair. No God, please no.
Meta Knight and Metal versus Cell, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. No God, please no. What do we think?
Yeah. Balrog versus TJ combo.
Well, I mean, what more could you possibly do?
Exactly.
Is Balrog? I don't even think Balrog is in Street Fighter 6.
He's not. I think he gets referenced like once or twice, but he's not in the game, and I don't think the leaks are saying he's coming back.
So yeah, there's literally no reason to do this.
And if you want Balrog on Death Battle again, like a Balrog thing, like a Balrog moveset, just bring in Ed.
Yeah.
He's getting more love lately, so Ed being on Death Battle could be interesting. Like whether he's fighting Jury or Rock Howard, or not Jury. The new girl from Tekken 8. Reina, I think. Balrog will be in Street Fighter 6.
Balrog does walk out to Ed's theme in the.
Oh yeah, he does. That's right. Shredder versus Silver Samurai. Given what I just said about given what I said about street tier X-Men, I think, and like, maybe you can make a case for it.
Yeah, but I love that episode so much that you would have to make a very strong case for me. I'm not against it. You could Rise does some kind of batshit insane stuff for Shredder that they could maybe talk about.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I'll live with make a case for it. But
yeah,
it's one of the best Sprite episodes ever made.
Oh no, Gumball Viking is here. He's broken into the chat.
Oh, hello.
All right, and Smokey versus McGruff. What do we think?
Yeah, it's do we if we're gonna do another PSA episode, it might as well be different characters.
Yeah, not worth it. Naruto versus Ichigo. Getting this instead of Naruto versus Luffy. How do you think the internet would react to this? But like they have Ichigo win. You there? Hello? Oh no, your mic's oh no, I think your mic's muted. I don't think we can hear you. Are you still there? My mic isn't mute. Oh no, something happened. Oh jeez. Well, we can't hear you. Were you trying to talk? Oh, jeez.
Oh, boy.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. I'm hearing you now.
What the fuck happened? What the fuck was that?
Okay, I have no idea.
Okay,
like, you were talking on my stream.
Okay, clearly this is a cursed episode, so I don't have an attachment to Bleach or Naruto. Like, I think my experience with Naruto is funny. I skipped to the last movie and just watched that. I was like, that was fun. That's where the moon feed happens. Yay.
Gumball, I can't believe you did this to Raccoon, bro. I can't believe you, man. Also, I'm getting, like, another video playing. What's going on?
Man, Gumball really tried to steal my... He really tried to steal my thing.
Okay.
My thunder.
Alright, anyways, Naruto versus Ichigo. What do y'all think?
They've gotten better at consolidating big characters like these so that it doesn't feel over bloated in the analysis. So and an updated writing would be nice, and also not as funky visuals as well.
Sure. I guess you could make a case for it, but let's not put it there.
Hmm.
And like, I kind of want Death Battle to do it just to like appease the Bleach fans.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Maybe
Like,
maybe
assuming that
does.
Ichigo wins, which he probably does.
Perhaps.
And what about Thor versus Wonder Woman?
I would make a case for it.
Yeah, because it had some like a lot of cut scenes, just bringing it back.
Yeah. Even disregarding the debate side, which I personally think Thor would probably win, but that's just me. Disregarding that, the fact that it's an unfinished episode, I think inherently gives it the benefit of a rematch. Because, yeah, let's give us the intended version of this. Give us the one that actually goes as hard as it could have and doesn't look as blocky and janky as the original did. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Diana should have one good episode.
I agree.
Yeah, it's funny that she still does.
I mean, there are some people who like She-Ra versus Wonder Woman, but there are also plenty of people who don't. It's a very mixed matchup, so I'd rather just have one that the vast majority of people like. And beyond 2099, we're just going to say good enough to be real. We already know this. I think we already know this one, and it should have been on the rematch poll, even if it's not close to my preferred.
I was very surprised it wasn't, but...
Me too.
I mean, hey, whatever. Sephiroth versus Virgil?
Yeah, Gumball just said it's such a surface-level matchup that I'd be kind of upset if it got a rematch. Yeah.
Sephiroth versus Virgil?
Yes.
I figured the only reason it's popular as it is because of the angel versus devil motif.
Yeah, it's got that going for it. But, like...
I'd like to have them both on the show again, though.
Yeah, but like, as this rematch, I don't know, man.
Nah, that's fine.
Like, if a different verdict is the only appeal you can get from doing this episode again, then it's probably not worth, like, having it be a rematch.
I think the original episode, without spoiling anything for my review, is Gucci.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Gucci.
Black Panther versus Batman. Once again, Batman with the same gadgets he did for 3 episodes in a row. No. And if you want Black Panther to be done justice, have him fight somebody else.
Why does this episode exist?
I mean, the matchup is better than we've been giving it credit for, to be fair. Like, it has some more interesting stuff. But yeah, Virgil Sesshomaru and Jin Kisaragi. Yeah, I agree.
Ugh. Twilight versus Raven, no thanks.
Yeah, not worth it. We already got a good MLP episode. We already got Raven on the show with a new episode.
Yeah, and when that episode came out, and when we were thinking about it during the reaction, I came to the conclusion, man, putting Raven against Twilight was kind of insulting. Because I love Twilight, and I think MLP is certainly a powerful verse, but the fact that they put Raven against Twilight specifically because she thought she didn't stand a chance against the other like Marvel heralds, like, damn, you guys really underestimated Raven, like mad underestimated her, and she won the episode.
Yeah. Anyways, now Jotaro versus Kenshiro. Carrick, you have some interesting things to say about this, don't you?
Yes, this is. There were 4 episodes I was campaigning to be on the rematch poll, and 3 of them did get on. It was Mewtwo versus Shadow, Mario versus Sonic, and Master Chief versus Doomguy. And the 4th one was Jotaro versus Kenshiro. There is still so much they could have done with this one. I think it's a very flawed episode on paper, and with how good the JoJo episodes have gotten, how consistently good, because they've had 3 episodes in a row after this, and they were all bangers. Like, I love all of the JoJo episodes, other than this one. I think Jotaro deserves another shot that is on the level of his other JoJo bros, and I think it would be a great chance to give Fist of the North Star some new love as well, because it's still getting movies, like it's still getting love.
It is, yeah,
attention. So there's probably new stuff to talk about. And yeah, no, I would 100% would be down for them to do this one again, purely to make a better version of it.
So what do we think, chat? Many merits
I'm sure-
or worth bringing back?
Or maybe good enough to be real. that's
We'll
that's
let
me.
the chat say. We'll let the chat
Yeah,
decide
we'll
that
see.
one. What do you think, chat?
I'm sure Kenshiro probably still wins, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm just here for a better fight and also better analysis. Let's be real. They were sort of figuring out how to incorporate the JoJo memes back then.
I don't think I agree with Jotaro having better though. So like
I can't think of another Jotaro matchup, honestly.
and all the options for Jotaro are like really bad, but like Kenshiro at least has Psycho Rikyo, so I think I'll just say it could be worth bringing back.
Okay. I will live with that.
Yeah. Crash vs. Spyro, Gumball, you already know. Good enough to be real. Gumball, I was already with you before you even started talking.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Especially with like that one canceled Crash game that was supposed to be a crossover with Spyro.
I would love to also see Devil Artemis animate this one because he is so on point with facial expression work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like this something like this is right up his alley.
And
I
like,
think Torian even went on record saying this was one of the hardest episodes to animate because mocapping Spyro was so fucking awkward.
Yeah. I guess I can imagine that. I mean, I still like the original in a way, but I also understand why people like Gumball are not so keen on it.
Yeah. I haven't revisited it in a while, so I'm not sure how I'll feel about it once I start working on my season 5 review.
Yes,
remake.
Cash Banuka versus Simon the Door. Imagine if they actually got Cat Icarus to cameo in this rematch.
Oh wow! Insert references.
And also, even just simply using like the Crash 4 model and the Reignited Trilogy model for them is like all you really need.
Yeah, yeah.
Now Sora versus Pit, however. Like if we got this instead of Pit versus Zagreus.
I don't know.
Gumball with me on Pit being done dirty in terms of fight dynamics. Yeah.
I've actually made a case. I haven't made this publicly, but I think you can make a case for Pit versus Twilight Sparkle.
Oh my gosh.
I think they have very similar journeys and personalities to each other that they would totally vibe.
No powers. I mean, I can understand no Palutena interference, but then again, like they still gave him the power of flight regardless for some reason. But he still should have used more items. He still should have used a better weapon variety. So make a case for it. And Sora could have also been handled better in terms of a fight, and his analysis wasn't nearly as good as Pit's.
Mm-hmm. And they've shown that they are better at handling Kingdom Hearts with King Mickey when it comes to the analysis side.
And yes, shut down that Sora versus LeBron. I will be there for that Sora versus LeBron slander.
My friend Steve posted LeBron James versus John Cena on Ballot Banter.
Yeah. Anyways, Leon versus Frank. Leon versus Kennedy. Yeah. Leon versus President JFK. Yes.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
All right. I mean, I really, really like this episode, so like I wouldn't be desperately asking for it. And yeah, but remember, Gumball, we're not taking alts into account here. Like, actually, you weren't here for when we established that, because we're not taking alts into account. We're talking as if this got announced in an alternate timeline where this got announced as a rematch. How much merit would it bring? How much would it bring to the table?
Do you think it would be better if it was 3D?
Well, yeah, because it was originally meant to be 3D. Like, it was planned for 3D, but then but they decided against it because Crash vs. Spyro wouldn't have been 3D if they did it. So, yeah, I think, like, getting a 3D version of Leon versus Frank could be fun.
Do you think they could do it in 3D with all the weapons they have to contend with?
Yeah, because they're just weapons. Like, they wouldn't be that hard to render.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Strange versus Fate, oh my gosh, yes, has many merits. They've gotten a lot.
Yeah.
They're still not perfect, but they're getting a lot better at, like, representing, like, better powers. So, like, I'd say there's, like...
multiversal reality warpers.
Yeah, they've been getting far better about it.
It's been a gradual improvement, for
It's
sure.
raining outside. from where I am.
Oh.
Anyways, Ryu versus Jin, generally not worth it.
Yeah, that's one of the best Torian fights. So no, you're fine.
And before Leopold tries to contest this, because this is his most wanted rematch.
Really? Oh, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's not because he dislikes the episode. It's still one of his favorites. I think it's because he genuinely, he legitimately had issues with how Jin was portrayed, and because them using clips from Street Fighter Cross Tekken, supposedly was in Tekken 8 Jin, but if you're gonna bring in Tekken 8, I think that it would have made more sense to bring in Kazuya, and I guess Ryu. With all the constant Street Fighter buffs we've been seeing lately, I swear, every time I see a Street Fighter character in a prediction blog, they just keep getting stronger. It's like the Thor speed for, fan-made prediction blogs.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they bring Ryu back, do you think they should get a voice actor for him or continue the tradition of just using voice clips?
Because
I think he's one of the best cases of how to handle characters with just voice clips. It was so perfectly done in both of his episodes.
Yes, Kazuya versus Garo, my beloved.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and that could be the one that Mario animates because he wants to do a Garo.
You see Delta Nova. Kazuya's most popular character is Wesker. The reason why that's the most popular is because that's the end of the sentence.
Anyway, Jack versus Afro.
I think at this point, I agree that Jack has so much more to show off, but I'd rather just have it update the stats and then just keep the same animation. You can't improve on it. So all I'd rather see is just about to remake the analyses and no, not even remake the analyses because they were still very, very good and entertaining. So no, I wouldn't say it's worth bringing them back. Yeah, can't mess with perfection. Once again, yet another case where you can't improve on perfection.
Was season 5 of Samurai Jack out at the time? I forget.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, good. Then if it wasn't, then I would have said maybe, but since it was, then yeah, no.
Yeah, this episode was 2018 and season 5 concluded in 2017. So it was just enough time for it to be included. And I think it even was referenced with when Jack's ponytail did that thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Such a good shot, by the way.
Yeah.
They gave it a lot more impact than they needed to, and I love it. Anyways, Carnage versus Lucy.
Kaiji Tank did such a good impression.
Absolutely. Carnage versus Lucy. What do we think?
I don't know. Because is Elfin Lied even getting stuff anymore?
I don't think so.
Is that a concluded story?
Obviously Carnage has more to talk about, but I don't know about Elfin Lied. Yeah.
Oh, Tyler says nah.
Yeah, Lemonade says no.
I think Lucy is just one of those characters where it's hard to justify bringing her back again.
Oh, wait. Alviaba Abtahi said we could get Venom 2 footage. That alone gives it many, many merits.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson in the best wig of all of Hollywood.
Yes, sir. All right, but seriously, Prime versus Gundam. Now, I think, I don't think you had much to say about it, but I think one of your friends did? Was it your roommate or was it Steve?
It's actually another friend who is our big Gundam nut. His name is Andrew. You can see him in our rematch poll discussion. He actually talks about Gundam a lot in that in that podcast. And he has plans to give his thoughts on this one in the same setting as my other friends like to do. And I actually don't know if he likes this episode or not. His main goal is to figure out what version of what Gundam could defeat Optimus Prime, because he considers this one of the most unfair battles in the show.
Yes.
And Carrick has many friends, couldn't be me. I'm not crying.
Anyways, so should we just say, what do we think, though? Should we say, what do we think, chat? Worth it or not?
I really like this animation, and I also really like the music, so that would be very hard to top for me. And
yeah,
I don't have much of a connection to the characters, so I've heard people say that Optimus Prime could have been better written, And if that's the case, then I guess just give him to another person where he could, and he doesn't have to kill a human.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Nightwing versus Daredevil. I'm gonna put in here only because like the only value this has as a rematch is because Ismahawk's first live action death battle doing better, but at that point you just be doing like a better like. It wouldn't be that interesting, and you might as well just do it in another style. But at that point, you might as well just have someone else do it.
Yeah. Bring Danny out of acting retirement.
Ultron versus Sigma. I'd say as much as I love the episode and the matchup and the game that inspired said matchup to get popular in the first place.
That's true.
Not worth it. And
I love that episode.
Yeah, we all love Ultron versus Sigma in this house.
And I love Roshi versus Dryad too. I don't see any reason to do that again either.
Pretty good episode. I think it's solid, but is it worth it though?
No, I don't think it's worth it. You know me. I'm a big OG Dragon Ball nut, and I think this is the best way they could have portrayed Roshi in my eyes. I don't see much of a reason to bring him back.
Okay, I'm just gonna put this down here. And Thanos versus Darkseid has many merits. Many merits.
You don't say.
Yes, and I think we all know why.
Oh.
Ismahawk already did a better Nightwing versus Daredevil with guns. They can do other Marvel versus... Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point, actually.
Oh, yeah. Does Ismahawk have to do Marvel versus DC again?
Yeah, that's also true. And Aquaman versus Namor.
Oh, did you mean to move Roshi versus Jiraiya into No God, Please No?
I did do that. Because Roshi.
Oh.
I really don't like Roshi.
That's fair.
And Aquaman versus Namor. What do we think? Like, if this got announced...
To me, that's like Green Arrow versus Hawkeye, but less so. Not only because it came out more recently, but also because I don't see quite as much potential there. At the same time, you could definitely improve on the fight in this one. I think the fight dynamic was very lopsided.
Ooh, Nick Fury versus Big Boss would actually be a really good option for the Ismahawk episode.
Does Nick Fury fight that much?
Nick Fury, I mean, like, he fights enough times to have a matchup for him. Popular one. So, I guess so.
They both have eye patches. Ooh.
Yes, they do. and it's also Nick Fury Sr. and not the MCU Nick Fury, which makes it more interesting. Anyways, Mega Man Battle Royale, not worth it.
No, I love that episode. You don't need to do it again.
Honestly, yeah, just put it there. Just because apparently X Dive has an armor that is strictly better than EXE. So that's
really
and I've heard supposedly, but either way, as amazing as the episode is, no, just don't bring it back.
Is there a reason you think it should be a No God Please No specifically?
Good point. Okay, now Black Widow versus Widowmaker.
I was gonna say that if you were to have somebody else do it, like maybe you could have a longer fight animation and more of a battle royale aspect, so that's not as much of a 2 1v1s going on at the same time, and Volnut's just kind of there. So okay, I think we're good with that. Black Widow versus Widowmaker.
Better to let someone else do it?
That could go hard as a live action short film.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, better let someone else do it.
Yeah.
Captain Carol versus Shazam is a big no.
If you want to put that in No God, please no, I don't mind.
Yeah, big no. Now Wario versus King DDD, I also think is generally not worth it. Because, everything that you could say you could make a case for Donkey Kong just does not apply to this matchup.
Yeah. Wario versus DDD is wild. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, the existence of these characters alone would obviously bring Death Battle, several trillion, quadrillion, quintillion dollars. But, as far as these two fighting each other, nah. Ben versus Hal. I'm not sure how people are gonna how people are gonna think about this, but I think you can make a case for it. Assuming only if it's not under the context of giving Ben the W, because Ben is not going to beat Hal Jordan. Never.
Well, because I
You
feel weird about
didn't
this
pick
episode.
Wario. All right. Because, like...
I feel weird about this one because I do like this episode, but the only thing I would really change is the way Alien X is portrayed and the ending results.
And, even Hal Jordan, by the time they got into space, even Hal didn't fight that creatively. Like, everything he does is, like, just a less version of the stuff he did on ground level.
It's
so, like,
funny how Alien X not only ruins that debate, it also kind of ruined the animation. It had so much going for it before Alien X showed up.
Yeah. And
it's wild.
Yeah. Weiss versus Mitsuru, no, not worth it.
Yep.
And Johnny Cage versus Falcon. I don't want to see Captain Falcon dying to timey-wimey timeline bullshit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Even then, I think... Though, to be fair, I do think that Captain Falcon could at least compare. Because you can bump into Universal if you want to. Like with his machine, at least.
Yeah, Captain Falcon is in a similar boat as Lucy for me, where I don't see much of a way to justify bringing him back. Like such an obscure character and like niche character that there's not like what else could you possibly talk about that you haven't already?
Yeah, they kind of handled him like as perfectly as you could.
So yeah, let's just let that one be.
Yeah. And Aang versus Edward, assuming we get this alongside Aang versus Traveler, I honestly think, like, it depends. If Aang versus Traveler happens to be bad, then sure, but if it happens to be good, then absolutely not.
And then we would just need to give Edward a good episode.
Yeah, so generally not worth it, because it hinges on something that probably might not need to happen, not need to work.
Yeah.
And Ghost Rider versus Lobo, exact same case as Natsu versus Ace.
Where it comes down to the debate.
Yeah, its existence stems from a debate that they've already answered, so no point.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Dragonzord versus Mechagodzilla.
I'll leave this one more to you because Kaiju isn't really my thing.
It's not my thing either.
Oh.
So like,
well,
chat,
then.
what do we think about Dragonzord versus Mechagodzilla?
Yeah, chat. We're gonna phone a friend on this one.
Yep, we're phoning in the chat. What do you think, chat? Dragonzord versus Mechagodzilla 2?
Is there
how much
any
would it bring
reason
to the
do
table
it again? If not worth it, doesn't need to happen.
Not worth it, doesn't need to happen. It needs a rematch if Kiryu gets treated as Kiryu and not just as a Mechagodzilla. Ooh, that's something. We need Ghost Rider versus Spawn. Also, not much to improve. So, I guess, yeah, generally not worth it. All right, then. Sasuke versus Hiei. I mean,
Maybe.
I do want to see, like, Yu Yu Hakusho getting talked about again. Like, just to see if they give the same scaling they did for this episode, and if it's comparable to Sasuke, because I know how much they've been buffing the Naruto series, but, like, I guess you could make a case for it, but do I want it? Well, I've already said that Vader versus Obito is just like the third Uchiha and fourth Sharingan user, and we don't need another one of those, so not worth it.
Yeah, let's get some different Naruto variety.
And
Ganondorf
Ganondorf versus Dracula, you cannot improve on perfection. And if you wanna give Castlevania like different scaling for whatever reason, just not worth doing it. This one. And Deadpool versus Mask is. I'll just put a no God please no like right away.
Oh wait, you skipped over Mob.
I know, I skipped that on purpose because I just wanted to get it out of the way because I don't know what to think about Mob versus Tatsumaki.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Deadpool versus Mask is such a weird situation, like an of its time thing that you can't really recapture that in a normal debate, quote unquote.
And Mob
versus Mike
Tatsumaki. What do we think, chat?
Wait, I just said what about Mob? What did you think I was talking about?
I thought you were still talking about Deadpool versus the Mask.
No, I said, what about Mob?
Oh, Tatsu got buffed even more while Mob has nothing? Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Poor Mob.
Yeah, poor Mob. Anyways, Might Squared, also not worth it. Cannot improve upon that episode. Miles versus Static, I actually have seen people say that a rematch could work. So, like... And, like, it's because Miles got some buffs and Static might have not... like comic Static wasn't explored that much because I've heard that he can keep up with like the DC high tiers. So like I guess you could make a case for it.
Maybe. I do like it a lot. It's the episode that gave us false hope for the puppet rigging style.
Yeah.
For all of season 7.
True.
Blindary.
Right, chat. Do we want to see Blindary 2, baby?
Oh lordy lord.
Blindary 2. More of those angry eyebrows.
The best hair animation.
Oh my gosh.
I think
Chat's
the original
already
would be
saying no,
more.
But now they're.
I think the original would be more well liked if Tatsumaki acted like an actual hero and was toned down. They talked about her arc and her being a better person, only to focus on her doing not that.
That
is a good point, Gumball.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like, yeah, I just say generally not worth it. Like unironically.
Tell me, can you fly? Can you die?
Though I would want to see Liam make like an April Fool's version of it, like only made by him. Animate even the animation.
Oh, you're so fast.
Anyways, Leonardo versus Jason.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's a very good episode, and I don't see much reason to do it when you could get other versions of Power Rangers
voices both
in there.
Black Canary and Sindel. Let's go.
And you could also give the other Ninja Turtles a chance to shine. Genos versus War Machine? No.
I mean, Genos needs to actually show up and not Season 1 Bakugo in a Genos cosplay. But would he need to fight War Machine, though?
I don't... Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. This would probably...
This
actually, no.
fine.
I don't want to see Genos dying even harder, given where they scale Marvel characters nowadays.
Yeah. This episode's fine. I just don't like the matchup at all.
Yeah. And Grey versus Death also.
Can we put that in
this matchup or this episode?
Can we put that in No God Please No as well?
Sure. All right. Goro versus Machamp. Though
I would say generally not worth it as well because that one's so good.
Yeah, this is where the generally not worth it tier starts to pile up higher and higher.
Oh man, I think we're about to get a bunch of those.
Yep. And
because now we got Cable versus Booster Gold, peak fiction, baby.
Yes, sir. Cannot improve upon perfection.
That's one of the episodes I'm looking forward to talking about again the most for my season 7 remake. Cause I downplayed the hell out of the quality of this episode. I need to rectify that.
Kakashi beats Obi-Wan, but at this point, what else do you... Wait, he does? I thought that he was like weaker than Obito.
Unless the person's saying that, Kakashi beats Obi-Wan. Oh, okay, Gumball.
Always way faster? Really?
Well, damn. Kamui wins.
Oh, via Okay. I think I get what he's talking about, but I'm gonna disagree.
I still argue Obi-Wan.
And also...
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I'm still gonna argue for Obi-Wan winning too. Danny versus Jake.
You could probably improve it.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm
gonna put it in. You can make a case for this.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find people that care about it anymore, especially with Butch Hartman being cringe.
So like, have someone else improve the animation.
Yeah.
And She-Ra versus Wonder Woman. Yeah. Even Liam has said that the 80s She-Ra cartoon is terrible. Like he said that on the record.
He mentioned it again at the Death Battle Live event when I think somebody asked him what was the hardest character to research, and he brought up the She-Ra cartoon and how terrible it was.
Yeah.
It made him want to rip his hair out.
Yeah. And even they outright said they should have done like the Netflix She-Ra.
Yeah. So maybe if they did that instead, it might be worth it, but I don't know if Netflix She-Ra would stand a ghost of a chance against Wonder Woman.
Unless if they do like a specific version of Wonder Woman as well, like one of the animated versions, like Justice League Unlimited, Diana.
Do you think they would do it though? Because they've yet to.
I mean, if they have yet to do that, then that means that there's
always a first.
1 in a million. Always a first. First time for
Yeah.
everything. I mean, if they can do that for Trunks versus Silver, I can't imagine why they wouldn't do it for, like, Marvel or DC.
All right, this one's a maybe if they do that specifically.
I'll put it
then
in, let someone else do it, but under the context of these being different versions.
Yeah. And also that way
Actually,
you wouldn't
I'll put this in a special middle ground just for this episode. Also green, it says, use different versions of these two, and it's fine. And put it above that. It's probably going to be exclusive to them, though.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Anyways, Beerus versus Sailor Galaxia.
I don't know if you know, but this is one of my favorite sprite fights of all time, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was already ready to put it in not worth it.
So, thank you. I guess if do it again in the hope that we can actually watch it on YouTube this time.
Oh,
but now
sure.
we can't. Now we can't thanks to the fight animation being re-uploaded.
Yeah, albeit with subtitles at first. I know the team wanted to use MCU Loki for Loki versus Kefka. Yeah, they do.
Oh. Hey,
Carrick, that would technically make the matchup less thematic. And like I've been hard leaning towards like Kefka versus Yuki Terumi because it's a very special case for how you look at it thematically. And the fight dynamic could still go harder than any Terumi matchup I've seen. But like if this is the route that they want to take, then I would not want to start shilling the matchup super hard like to take away that opportunity. So yeah. And Zuko versus Shoto, I'm going to say make a case for it because remember they originally had Zuko slated to win, but then they did a recalc and MHA got more stuff and they had Shoto winning and like you could feel that in the conclusion. So like I think you could make a case for this one getting a rematch.
Yeah, I'll give it the same logic as Gaara versus Toph.
Yeah.
Since Zuko we'll be seeing Zuko again.
Yeah, of course. And Wally West versus Archie Sonic. I mean, I'd say it's not worth it because you can make a case that like Game Sonic is comparable, if not stronger than Archie Sonic. Probably more comparable though.
Dude, if that's the case, that would make me so happy because I don't want to talk about Archie anymore. I don't want to think about Ken Penters.
Archie Sonic being written well would be cool. That's about it.
The 7 Battle Royale.
No more simulations. Winter Soldier versus Red Hood. No, can't improve upon this.
Thank you.
Venom versus Krona. I'd put it in No God Please No because I'm sure y'all know my thoughts on this matchup.
Oh, I mean, no, it's a terrible Krona pick.
Oh, base, so I can leave it here.
There's no doubt about it. I think Krona's a great character and it's kind of a waste.
Yeah. And
all right,
Saberwolf versus John Talbane.
I think give it an improved
Riot
first
Rumble.
half.
Riot Rumble.
Yeah, Riot Rumble. We need a Riot Rumble button. Riot Rumble. Riot Rumble. Riot Rumble. Boom!
Yes, sir. Chat, can we get a Riot Rumble in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Now
This
Red
blue.
versus same as Meta versus Carolina.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
I love this episode, but you can't really do it again.
Yeah.
And it would be really, really insulting if they remade this episode before giving Red versus Blue a matchup outside of their own series.
Yeah. Eddie, we need to eat the gender ambiguous child. Okay, and Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen.
Our pronouns are they, them, because we are literally two dudes.
Happening, so I have a soft spot in the sense that everyone said it wasn't happening, and I felt really validated when I was proven right, as bad as the matchup is. Oof.
Oh, Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen.
I think let someone else do it, because I want to see the animation cleaned up to see it actually being good, but I don't want Death Battle to do it. Like, you're better off having Spider-Gwen come back for somebody else. Sanji versus Broccoli. No, we had a 1-minute melee that was really good. We had a Death Battle that was really bad. The matchup is kind of whack, albeit better than I gave it credit for in my video, but just not worth it. Hulk versus Broly, though. Like, this would, like, I mean, we'd already be getting composite. I think we're already going to be getting composite Hulk, whereas here, they were using, like, Devil Hulk versus Super Broly.
Yeah, essentially.
So like, but if you want to do like Z Broly, then sure, but let someone else do
Then
it.
you just be getting an inferior version
Yeah,
of
Broly's
Broly.
got nothing new. Yeah, you just
In my
getting a worse
opinion.
version. Like,
He's got
imagine the
nothing new
timeline where we actually got this episode instead of Hulk versus Doomsday.
Yeah. The only new thing we got for Broly is a new voice actor.
Yeah. One who isn't a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Anyways, now finally on to season 8. Yoda
yeah,
versus King
but-
Mickey.
I just want to say real quick, Johnny Young Bush is now also voicing Dante, so I think he's sort of becoming the go-to. Replace this guy because he's weird. Get
To be
Johnny
fair,
instead.
JYB as Dante is actually inspired. Like, and it's
Yeah.
not just because, like, oh, he voiced Nero, but, like, seeing him doing more than just the serious anime protagonist type is fucking incredible.
Yeah, he deserves a chance to flesh himself out.
Yeah. It's why I will
All right.
die on the hill that Emile Castagnier is one of his more interesting, like, voice performances, because you did get the typical JYB stuff, but also the wimpy JYB type character, and seeing them directly interact with one another, it was really cool. Like, I have a major soft spot for Symphonia Dawn of New World, as much as I know how many people hate that game and how much they hate it. Anyways, Yoda versus King Mickey.
I'll look into that. Yeah, since we're on the more recent seasons, let's go like.
OBS. It's the rain outside, ain't it?
Oh,
Okay, anyway.
well, I can still.
Yeah, generally not worth it. I'd rather have,
Yeah.
like, it'd be better to have Yoda fight someone else, and I doubt you could improve his
Yeah.
animation. Shadow versus Ryuko, no, matchup sucks ass, and Shadow,
Yeah, I don't like. I don't like it either.
Yeah. Lex versus Doom, as much as it sweeps, no.
Yeah.
Heihachi versus Geese, I think you can make a case for it, because...
Yeah, if you did it in 3D, I guess.
Yeah, doing it in 3D with the Tekken 7 models, or maybe, like, Tekken 8 Heihachi, since he's in the game now, and Geese Howard...
Ooh.
Oh yeah, they accept if. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. They accept if now, like if bullshit.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah.
if, by the way. But I still don't want Ryuko to fight Shadow. No need. I'm pretty sure Shadow would still win even with if. And Blake versus Mikasa.
100%. They only put him at Planet in that episode.
Blake versus Mikasa.
No.
Let someone else do it, or at the very least, like have Torian reanimate the episode, but like with better animation, so that, or like. Since, like, he was, like, John Mitchell confirmed to me that Torian was trying something new for this episode.
Yeah.
Which is why it looks so choppy in a lot of areas.
At least your only mate likes it.
Yeah. Your only mate.
Iron Fist versus Poe. That one's good, so no thank you.
Yeah,
Generally
no
not worth
need.
it.
Steven versus Star. People think Steven should win for some inexplicable reason, so generally
That's
no.
stupid.
And Batman versus Iron Man.
We're getting on versus lose, so we don't need it.
Yeah, we don't need it. And Batman versus Iron Man could be worth bringing back, because having Batman use more suits than just the Hellbat, and also Iron Man using more suits than just the army fight.
Okay.
Wait.
I do think it's a good episode, but I agree that there's a lot of untapped potential with
Gumbo,
it.
you got something to cook? You got a case to cook? Goku Black versus Reverse Flash. No.
Cannot
we don't
improve
need
upon perfection.
You got the it was me berry guy in the episode. You cannot improve upon that. Macho
Yeah,
Man
I'm
versus
sure they-
Kool-Aid Man.
I think that's the case where we just need to let the dead lie. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was.
Let's
it
not
was
bring back
such
the controversy.
Yeah, it was such an unfortunate thing that happened, and just it has so much tainted stuff surrounding it because of especially the Boomstick's dad arc and all the weird stories, experimental stuff they tried, and experimental stuff doesn't always work out. That's an unfortunate, sad truth of reality.
Okay, Gumball's cooking. So logic they use is that the wand is capable of universe feats level through Skywing. Problem, Star does not give a shit about other people's spells and has never used a spell she did. Plus, dimensions in Star verses can be a universe in size, but they can also be an IKEA, and that's it. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dio versus Alucard is perfect. No need.
I still
Akuma
don't
versus
think
Shao
that
Kahn.
Star versus is worth bringing back because it's
Yeah,
it's
Star
already
versus
over.
as a series / as a combatant worth bringing back, but as a rematch, no.
No,
But
I
Gumball, would she
don't-
still
I
be
don't-
Steven?
No, Jonathan, I don't think it's worth bringing back. I don't give a shit about it.
Oh, okay.
I think it's over and done with. So it's like I don't think anybody really cares about it anymore.
Right. And Okay, yeah, Akuma versus Shao Kahn. Like, I think it's just better to let someone else do it. Deathbattle doesn't need to do it. Korra versus Storm obviously has many there.
Oh, this matchup. This is still one of my favorite next time reactions I've ever had. That's probably one of the few times I was actively angry at an announcement.
already putting Madara versus Aizen in. You can make a case for it.
Yeah, I think that can apply. Yeah, for both Bleach episodes.
It's Naruto versus Ichigo, but it's actually interesting. And also, after Gojo versus Makima, I'd like to see them, like, equalize their power sets, like, more directly.
All right,
Anyway,
all right.
Saitama versus Popeye cannot improve upon
Perfection.
this. Harley Quinn versus Jinx cannot improve. Wanda versus Zatanna. I know Vargas is in here, and he has not stopped tagging me about Wanda's characterization. So, bro, since you're still watching this, I know. Why do you think I put in my C tier instead of B tier? That's why. So, like, yes, you can make a case for it. Giving Wanda better characterization, having the fight use more of their powers, sure, I'm down for it. Tanjiro versus Jonathan, no need.
Don't make Wanda a villain, essentially.
Yeah, like, you can have Wanda as a villain or Wanda as less of a villain in the fight.
Okay.
Or, like, having more fun. And Thor versus Vegeta, not worth it.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Agreed.
Omni-Man versus Homelander.
God.
No.
But the boys has more seasons out.
No.
No.
Magneto versus Tetsuo, not worth it. Heracles versus Sun Wukong,
I also don't think that's worth it because there are more mythology. There's more mythology out there that we need to expand our horizons.
Yes. Boba Fett versus Predator. I'd say let this be in live action, but not from Ms. Mahawk.
Okay. Are you putting in a no God please no because of religious stuff?
Yes, it's exactly because of the religious stuff.
Fair enough. Excalibur versus Raiden, also not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it.
It was good for what it is as a sponsored episode. It is the goal. It is the bar for sponsored episodes.
James Bond versus John Wick. You can make a case for Wick coming back, but not against Bond.
Yeah. I like the idea of them having an official crossover.
All right. Black Adam, DC Comics Shazam versus Apocalypse, Marvel Comics X-Men.
Oh,
do we want another death battle at the Oscars, chat?
Yeah, I wore my bow tie that day. Can we possibly recapture the magic of it though?
I actually don't think so. No.
Yeah.
Like, if this was base Trunks versus Silver, I would just put it in here. But since this is Xeno versus Archie Silver, no.
Okay.
Actually, because this is me we're talking about.
Oh yeah, because you don't like Dragon Ball.
I don't like Trunks in general.
Yeah.
And
I'm also. I think maybe Trunks
also
versus
the
Silver.
debate was fucking chaotic. I don't want to see that coming back.
I think the game counterparts are actually a lot closer now than we give them credit for.
True.
But unfortunately, Silver kind of sucks in the games. At least in recent games, like they have not allowed him to do anything.
I still wouldn't put Trunks vs. Silver higher than this tier though, because pretty much every other Versus show has done Trunks vs. Silver, even DBX.
Yeah, it's very tired.
Yeah, wait for Silver Generations when he beats Solaris in base form.
Oh yeah.
And do we want to see SpongeBob fighting Super Friends Aquaman again?
No, not at all.
No God Please No, or just not worth it?
No, not worth it because I think No God Please No has well actually I think No God Please No probably does work because of it being a one-sided
they'd be making the same joke again.
Yeah, so
all right. Jason versus Michael. I actually think you can make a case for this, but
me
then
too.
Again, yeah. Do we want to put this here or have someone else do it?
I think that's more of a have someone else do it because I really liked the analysis part that only Death Battle could do, but I would love to see somebody do like a live action take on it.
Yeah, live action, but like I say that said live action take should just be done by like another Versus show.
Yeah, people who are more versed in handling gore.
So true. Yeah. And Sauron versus Lich King cannot improve upon this. No.
Agreed. Such a good episode.
Deku versus Asta. On the one hand, you can make a case for it, but on the other hand, is it a case you really want to make? Gumball.
I don't want. Look, I don't want to relive the insanity
Gumball cooks something. Okay. Deku versus Asta. As much as I hate the matchup, has such a good case for it. Deku getting in when he did was just a bad move. Objectively, And they
And they
ignored
ignored
so much of Asta's stuff, despite the team claiming it was Deku's closest matchup. Yet they did that to make it closer. When you get to Deku versus Asta. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Fair. So you think we should just put it in and make a case for it?
I mean, sure. I still hate this episode and everything it stands for and all the outside bullshit surrounding it. That I was so disappointed in a lot of people when the sneak peek for this one came out. I was like, you dunderheads. You absolute dunderheads.
Yeah.
Shut up.
All right. Ant-Man versus the Atom. What do we think?
Good. No, I think it's fine. You don't need. There's not much else you can do with it.
Yeah. And Chosen Undead versus the Dovahkiin.
I think that's another case as well. That's a really good episode.
Not to me, it ain't.
Oh.
You've seen my video. Come on, you've heard me explain my problems with it.
No, I haven't. Because I haven't written my season 10 review yet.
Oh, I thought you did because you left a comment on it.
Well, I think I left a comment about my Bill Cipher cameo.
Okay, fair.
I mean, honestly,
I didn't give it like a bad rating. I said it was still decent, but it was on the lower end of decent.
Now that I think about it, I probably can watch your season 10 ranking because it'll be, since my season 10 review is going to take so long, your points won't be that ingrained in my mind anyway, so I'll probably give it a watch soon.
Enough people love it to where I'm clearly the unpopular opinion, so not worth it. Killua versus Misaka.
I respect this one more than I love it. I'll say that much.
Killua versus Misaka?
Oh no, I was talking about Dark Souls versus Skyrim. With
okay.
this one, I think it's pretty good. Not much else you can do with it.
Yeah, not much else you can do. Vader versus Obito. I'm tempted to put it in No God Please No, but just because Vader bros, but I'll just put it in this tier. Stitch vs. Rocket is perfect. It should not be touched. I agree, Mr. Voorhees. And Phoenix versus Raven, I actually think you can make a case for it because the characterizations were awful and Phoenix's powers were poorly touched upon. I mean, Raven's powers were handled better than against Twilight, so like I think you can make a case for this.
Yeah, it goes to show that.
Obi versus Kakashi has a stronger case.
This was in the same season as
right.
Bill versus Discord, which is the quintessential reality warper episode.
Yeah. And Guts versus Dimitri cannot improve upon perfection. Mansurfer also cannot improve. Bill Cipher versus Disc.
No way.
Not ready for the debate. Cole versus Alex. Like, if you want better analyses, then you might as well just have the exact same animation, but like just better analyses. That's it.
Yeah.
Praise the Raptor, indeed. And Frieza versus Megatron. If they can composite Megatron better, sure. Like, if they can't, then sure. But otherwise, just have somebody else do it.
Yeah. I was almost tempted to say no God please no.
Gojo versus Makima I'm putting in this tier only because Zenith Animanga is doing it. And I think we should go support that guy when they get around to it. When they finish
fun. Yeah, be sure to link that to me because I don't know who that is.
It's not ready yet. In fact, it's been like in a weird state, but it's still happening.
At least link me the creator.
Yeah, Zenith Animanga. I'll DM it to you later. Scooby versus Courage. If I'm actually gonna put in here only because the only reason you'd want to see this matchup happen again is to give it a rematch. It's to like actually have a winner. But no one wants to see one of these dogs dying.
Yeah, exactly.
Rick versus the Doctor, generally not worth it. Galactus versus Unicron, generally not worth it.
Generally not worth it.
Chat, should we do Omnidoc and Joker? Joke no?
Maybe it would be worth saving the most recent episodes for later.
All right. Well, that was a good lightning round, chat.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it. Just before Carrick had to leave. So,
that was
thank you all for watching the stream. And Carrick, if you have any other final words.
Look forward to the season 4 review. If you'd like to see early sneak peeks of them, you can join my YouTube channel membership and also my Patreon. They're both linked on my YouTube channel. And thank you, Jonathan, for having me over. This is my first time being a guest on a live stream like this. This was a lot of fun. I hope to do it again.
Yes, sir. I would like to do more collab streams. Gumball, I saw you saying you'd want to come on for another stream one day, just like when we did for Multiverses. Albeit, hopefully we'll do it for like a game that you like playing and didn't have like a billion connection issues. So like, anyways, safe. Absolutely want to consider you being in another stream at some point. As for what
please.
that stream is, I'm not sure.
I'm down for anything. It can be whatever. Because this was a lot of fun.
Well, like Gumball, you're free to DM me anytime. Let me just put this on.
Let
Twitter.
let me ruin a stream next time. Oh Lord. All right.
Ooh, a tier list. Okay. Quote.
Well, I don't know about you, but between this and Jorno versus Joker, I'm all death battled out.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be going to a haunted house with some IRL friends for the rest of tonight.
Yes, sir.
I'm proud of us. We were able to do the whole.
We did it.
I was concerned we'd have to get 2 videos for it, but no, we managed to do it in one.
Before you
Hell yeah.
comment, we are. Yeah, see you later, Gumball. Thanks for tuning in. Before you comment, we went through this in a mindset that's different than you might think. And then I'll copy this and post it on my Blue Sky account.
Oh, somebody made a really funny comment on my Jorno versus Joker reaction.
Oh,
Joker, checkmate. Jorno, nuh-uh. Set denial. The fuck you mean, nuh-uh?
Yes, sir. That's awesome. And then, boom. Yeah, see you later, Delta Nova. Have a good night.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
By the way, what's your Blue Sky?
Oh, it's just my name. Carrick and Abnett spelled out.
Made with at.
Carrick.
There you are.
Yeah, there he is.
Going over this topic. And also, follow me on Blue Sky. Here it is, chat. If you haven't already. And also follow Carrick on Blue Sky too. 26 followers, dude. He deserves way more than that.
Oh, it's because I barely post. I'm only just now getting back into Blue Sky.
That's fair. Okay. All right, and that's it for the stream.
Yeah, thank you everyone
all
for joining
for
us.
tuning in.